We are back again, ladies and gentlemen. Different teams, different casters, same host. My name is Keg. We have beautiful matchups here and beautiful casters as well for the rest of the quarterfinals for Season 4 of SCS. Now, of course, we do have some interesting teams coming into this. A little bit of a grudge match, some history between both of these teams. Well, let's take a look at the casters. We have some new guys on the board here. We have Lynx and Crow. They've never casted once before in their lives, so this will be their first time. I wish them best of luck. I know it's a very scary experience, guys.
Yeah,
you got this,
we
though.
were talking to Ferme, and we're like, hey, Ferme, we've actually had very extensive comp careers in the T2 scene, and we're like, hey, we want to try our hands at casting, and Ferme was like, you know what?
We were on team the Horse Boys.
Yep.
Oh,
and
yes.
Ferme decided that a trial by fire would be best. So this is our first time casting for me and Link. So
I unfortunately did not.
We'll go easy on you.
I did not mention my crippling anxiety on the employment application, so I hope that won't come to bite me later on. So, but I'm excited to try it out.
The trick is to hold your microphone.
My mic is.
Good enough. Same thing. Same thing. We have the same mic.
It's a nice mic, you know? It gets the job done. Sure, SM7B. They didn't pay me to say that. They should.
You know who else gets the job done?
Who?
Well, only one of these teams today. We're actually going to have Emergence versus Wichita Wolves here. And we're going to have some interesting lineups, though. But we're going to look at the predictions down below. It's a little bit different from what we saw before. At least some people, more than one person, is going to give a team. So this time around, we have only 3 for the Wolves. And everyone else is going to be going in the favor of Emergence, it seems. But Crow, what's going on there?
Honestly, if it were any other point in the season, I would disagree with the majority of our our production staff. But Wichita Wolves have unfortunately had a little bit of a downwards trend ever since losing Iski. They picked up skins. They haven't had that great of a run towards the latter half of the season. Combined with the fact that when Wichita Wolves was in their prime, Emergence still beat them 2-0. So not only has this match already happened in which Emergence was victorious, but that's also compounded by the fact that Wichita Wolves right now I hate to say it, but they just don't look good.
Yeah, that's kind of been the big thing. Wichita Wolves have, Pro put it perfectly, they've just been on the downward slope ever since they lost Iski. But even before that a bit, it's not been looking good for the Wolves. And as Keg also mentioned earlier, this is a bit of a rematch overall. Last year they faced the quarterfinals, where Emergence, I believe, was knocked out, correct? So this is not only, rematch from that previous season, but also from last year as well.
I really hate how you said last year. I mean, I know you meant 19 days ago, but it feels like it was like all the way last January. But no, that was SCS what, season 2?
It was
0?
It was sometime in the neighborhood of 2004 to 2005.
Dude, I don't even know if Ferme knows.
Probably. Well, I'm sure we'll find it out in a little bit, though. But here are our teams, though. We have Wichita Wolves, and we have Emergence as well. Some familiar names, most of them familiar names. But like you said, the absence of Iski might be felt and rippled through.
Yeah, as you can see, we've got the other 4. We've got Anarchy, Fated Devil, and Tyrant. And Skins is the newest pickup. Now, I was really harping on Skins the last time they played because map 1, he didn't get a single kill on Ash Malusi. He did pick it up in the second map. I will give him that, but we're definitely going to be looking for a more consistent performance from him, especially when on Emergence you have players like Goria, you have players like Evil Clouds, combined with the supports of Move, Son of Finn, and Ben. Those guys are no slouches, as you can see by the scoreboard. Goria plus 105. He has been the driving force for Emergence pretty much this entire season. So Wichita Wolves are gonna need their players like Anarchy, like Fated, and hopefully Skins to wake up and combat that powerful force on the other team.
Now, Crow, you and I have had some spats on Twitter about Goria's performance too, about, whether or not the really high rating he has is really that high of a rating. I'd love to hear you more, whether or not you think he can back that up today.
If it were against any other top 6 team, I would be a little bit iffy, but against Wichita Wolves, again, they've been on that downward trend. I really think Goria is going to be able to take advantage of that, because something we've seen from Emergence is that Goria, and thus Emergence as a whole, has never done well against any of the top 6 teams, with the exception of Wichita Wolves, but we can kind of consider that an outlier. Goria's rating, I at least feel personally, I don't think he's a bad player, but I think his rating is definitely a little bit inflated because they just beat the hell out of the lower teams, and that allows Goria to run around and do whatever he want, get those high KD games. But against the top 6, he and the rest of his team tend to struggle. So it's, for me, it's kind of a consistency issue before we call him a top T3 player.
Yeah, that's certainly true, but even then, Goria, he doesn't have to perform. I mean, he has to perform well, surely. A lot of Emergence's success is dictated by Goria's performance. But Skins, hate to harp on him myself. I haven't harped on him nearly as much as Crow, but he's one of your main entries. That's one of the main people, by definition, racking up those kills, or at least in theory should be racking up those kills. So if Skins just continues to underperform and not do his job, Goria doesn't even have to worry about carrying the team like people often say that he does. They just have to I guess I was going to say worry about, but they don't even have to worry about Skins doing his job if he's continuing to put up those extremely low numbers on that entry roll. So Goria showing up with a 1.5 rating, we see him sometimes. We don't have to see him in that strong of form today if Wichita Wolves are playing like they have in the past couple weeks.
Ooh, vicious. But we do have other members of Emergence's team too. We could highlight Son of Finn and Moved as well. They've had a really high rating and they've been able to put up numbers as well for being in their roles as well. But do you think the consistency will be the highest factor between these two teams today?
Yes.
Yes, I would agree as well.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
Lynx, I want you to back that one up.
Well, I mean, consistency is the name of the game any time. If you want to win in the best of 3, it's just improbable that you're going to be able to win multiple maps off of inconsistent play. I say that right after we saw Pride win Oregon in the previous series by Dylan clutching a couple rounds. So it does happen every now and then, that kind of hero style of play. But over the past couple weeks, Wichita Wolves have just not looked like that consistent or that great of a team, or at least a shadow of their former selves. And as you said, players like Son of Finn alongside Goria have shown to put up numbers. In that previous series Crow and I casted with Emergence in it, Son of Finn was one of the people putting up numbers alongside Moved as well. And of course, Goria, though he was not performing as well in that matchup specifically. So, in more recent history, Emergence have shown to be that more consistent team in terms of getting kills on the board and having impact on the round. So, going in, I'm going to have to side with those 7 that predicted Emergence winning, by the way.
Well, one thing we don't have to worry about with consistency are the map picks for SCS tonight.
Yep.
Quarterfinals is going to be Consulate, Oregon, and Cafe. Again, in a slightly different order. But even then, Crow, talk to me about Consulate, because I don't like this map, but maybe you can change my mind.
It's
all right.
All right. Consulate, I
different.
enjoy when certain teams play it. Like, Aerial Rise, TSM.
Project Neo.
Project Neo, not so much anymore.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. But, you know, maybe Wichita Wolves and Emergence can make it pretty entertaining. Consulate is a little bit stale just because, you know, most garage attacks play out the exact same way. Top down clear, take piano, play vertical, open garage, plant white. A lot of top floor takes are like 1 of 2. Admin clear, suicide balk presence, try and get a meeting plant, or everybody on the team is on a window rappel trying to play for console. There's not a lot of variance. Most of what Consulate comes down to, if we're going to see a fun Consulate, it's because the teams are going to be running at each other.
But if you really want to talk about stale, I mean, Oregon is map 2. If Consulate is
Oregon.
stale, Oregon is days-old Wonder Bread. There is about 1 take most teams like to do for sites with maybe a variation here or there. But you don't even get, like, the multi-variations that Crow mentioned. For example, the 2 takes on console. It's usually the 1 core push with maybe a couple different pieces allocated in different parts. So that being map 2, at least it's something familiar. We all pretty much know what we're going to get, so we can enjoy the more finer things that teams bring out. And then Cafe Decider, kind of like Oregon, it's Cafe. You know it. It is a map that exists, and you might love it. Who knows? I wouldn't say that, because I don't like that map.
I don't mind Cafe.
Well, you can be wrong. That's fine. That's okay.
Well,
That's what
like
this
it or
desk is for.
Like it or don't like it, though, we're just about ready to get started with Consulate, though. It's going to be Emergence versus Wichita Wolves. I'm really excited to see how this is going to go, especially with the new meta in play. Lynx, Crow, I hope you guys kill it out there.
God, I hope so too, man.
First time casting, who knows how this could go.
Good luck,
This could
yeah.
go-
That's true.
This could
Remember,
go
there's
pretty much
5
anywhere.
operators on each side. There's orange and there's a blue team. Just
Okay.
keep that in mind, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna write that down.
Orange, blue. I also forgot to mention I'm colorblind. And I specifically cannot see orange or blue.
Wow, you fucking loser.
Damn, that's my bad. That's on me, I guess.
So heading into the op bands, Consulate. What do we expect from operator bands, huh?
Well, if I were to hedge a guess, if
You
I
think
were
Thatcher?
to throw my hat, yeah, it's gonna be Thatcher.
Yeah.
It'll be Thatcher and a hard
There
breach.
he is.
There he is. Our boy. Our. Okay, I just come on,
Our
man. Just
angry
something.
British boy.
Just something. Give me something. All I want.
Capital. It could be Capital. You know, maybe they don't ban a hard breacher. I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but I can dream.
It's just, yeah. Oh!
It's Jackal.
It's Jackal. You know, of all the things, I didn't anticipate that one. I did not expect a Jackal to be brought out. That is my bad.
So, okay. All right. So Jackal you ban Jackal when you want to roam.
Yeah.
No, no shit. No crap. I don't know. Whatever. It's too late.
You're trying, man. You're really
Jackal
trying. I appreciate that.
Is like the ranked ban of we want to kind of monkey around, and Consulate sometimes affords itself to that kind of play. I just don't like WW. Just don't play a lot of Jackal. I mean, sometimes they do, because sometimes every team does. I don't know if it's enough to warrant a Jackal ban. Maybe it's something that Emergence have on Wichita Wolves that, maybe in scrims or something, Wichita Wolves have started to bring that. But otherwise, all 4 hard breachers are up on a Consulate game. Now,
Yeah.
Consulate isn't that hard breach centric. Really, the only one that you're going to need that hard breach on is, like, Garage. Top floor, you need, like, a little bit, like a Hibana or an Ace, but that's kind of it. And even then, it's not necessary depending on your take. So I think that's probably why they went ahead and were comfortable banning the Jackal, because they figure hard breach isn't the most important on this site anyway. It's Cafeteria Garage, of course, first up for Wichita Wolves, though the Castle pick might just mean they're roaming. We've kind of seen some anti-chamber roams with the Castle in the past.
We could, and I mean, as you said, not the most hard breach centric. Ace very strong up there with Hibana, and she's especially strong in her own right. So not all that surprising. Nomad also been left up. She was an attacking operator we saw banned quite often on both Consulate and Coastline, a map that I would like to see more. Alas, here we find ourselves. So her being in play, gotta be big. Not nearly the same amount of jump out potential that Consulate is associated with. Then beyond that, the attacking team operator lineup fairly standard. With the Castle as well, I'm intrigued to see if we do see an anti-chamber roam with him, or not reinforcing. Put up a Castle barricade up top. Might see a roam up there as well, with likely the hatch open to drop back down into Piano. Skins on the Jaeger, a great candidate to play that position, just because it's Jaeger. Unfortunately, Skins, he does have to prove if he can be up to the task of getting those kills and doing that role justice.
You know what's pretty interesting too? So you were talking about Nomad being not just left up but also played, kind of decreasing the amount of crazy rotates and jump outs and aggressive stuff you can do on this map.
Yeah.
Valkyrie is also still left up, but Wichita Wolves aren't playing her. Usually Valkyrie has a pretty damn high pick rate on this map. Tyrant is going to take a hell of a lot of damage from that player on the Repel by Suicide Valk. He re-peaks it and almost loses his life, but he's prepped the hatch for a fallback. They'll play by the console windows, just wasting a little bit more time, but I mean, 45 seconds down, your top floor roamer not only has fallen off, but is also at 1 HP. A good start so far for Emergence just on this preliminary roam clear.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong clear. And even then, having your Castle being the only one up top, that's a bit of a risky play just because, well, he's not exactly the strongest operator on the planet, and especially on the board for Wichita Wolves. So, time management so far for Emergence, pretty solid. They still have to get some control of that second floor, mostly in their presence. Evil Clouds will take a bit of damage. Not entirely sure where that was from, but seeing Faded was reloading, I imagine he might just be the
he
culprit.
just challenged he just challenged Yellow Door as Evil Cloud's sledge.
You know, sometimes you just gotta swing, man. You feel it in your bones and you gotta swing. But now, minute 30 left. This is the moment where Wichita or Emergence have to shine. They've gotten third floor, but second floor is much more necessary for an attack, and there are still plenty of defenders with their guns alive going towards them. Tyrant is down, not finished off just yet, but still, that's the tip of the spear for the attack. It's something that can be capitalized on.
And they've droned him out. They know he's downed. There's the confirmation by Evil Cloud. So down goes your Castle. It is Castle, though, so, I mean, it's not the biggest deal at all. I'm sure they're not worried about it. There's only a minute left, so if you're going to lose your roamer at any time, it's probably now. Ben is going to get another one before there's a refrag by the Jaeger, but Evil Clouds finds him for his second as well. It's just Anarchy and Faded, the two anchors, try and hold down site in a 2 versus 4, and there is still a ton of time for the attackers to play with. They are sitting comfortably with 50 seconds left. They can play with that sledge, play for the verticality, and Anarchy and Faded are starting to feel the pressure. Anarchy tries to fire back, but there's nothing he can find so far. Unfortunately for the attack, though, the garage wall has not been opened. It doesn't look like they can find these electro claws as they stay there and just protect this wall from anything. You see the sledge trying to do his best. He'll throw a nade down. I'm not sure if it didn't get it. No, the wall's still electrified. There's only 24 seconds left, and there is no breach. They'll have to funnel in through the hatch and the yellow stairs, and Anarchy will start things off well for Wichita Wolves defense. 15 seconds left. Where are these attackers? There's one on yellow stairs, but Faded finds evil clouds as Emergence are falling apart. Son of Finn, the primary diffuse planter, as well as 1 HP. He's susceptible to his C4, but it doesn't look like the Kaid is in range, but he'll get the head of it moved, and the evil eye from Anarchy will be what finishes off the round. The two anchors holding down the 2v4 as Wichita Wolves locking that garage breach is the secret to them winning that round.
I mean, Maestro on the board, and Cade as well might not be the best operator, but still not a terrible operator, all things considered. That's pretty much what you want in a clutch. But that Evil Eye left alive behind White Van, because that wall was never destroyed and the nade was unsuccessful, that is probably the most powerful Evil Eye position and one of the most default positions as well on a basement bomb site. And he still went for that white default plant in plain view of the Evil Eye. Bit of a misplay there, but then again, not a lot of options when you miss that nade. Failed to open the breach, and it's kind of ironic that the time allocation on the side of Emergence was stellar throughout most of that round. 45 seconds spent clearing up top. 45 more seconds spent clearing out the second floor. At that point, it's a 2v4 basically. Your sledge is still alive with 2 of his nades in his pocket. So much you can work with. They just never got open garage wall because they spent so much time getting the soft destruction upstairs and trying to get the Cade charge off the wall, and it just didn't work out. That's just kind of the thing that happens sometimes on attacks. You can be so stellar in so many important aspects, but if you even miss one, it can completely cause the downfall of your round, and in that case, a 2v4 clutch in the first round for Wichita.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, without the breach, that still could have been a successful round if they found kills using the verticality, or if they just burned away some of that utility. But the Evil Eyes being left up, like you said, the sledge's nades were completely allocated to that Kaid, and he never found it. And all the Kaid and the Maestro had to do was pretty much stare at yellow. And there was nothing the attackers could do. Devil is going to start things off very early this round, even earlier than the last. A spawn peek onto Ben. Your Zofia dead. She was one of those important roam clearers last time, and a very important utility operator, especially for Teller's Archives, to get rid of things like Evil Eyes, Malusi's, even stun-locking people with C4 below. That being the first pick is a big blow to Emergence.
It is, and also on the side of Wichita, we are seeing Tyrant on that Valkyrie. Operator we mentioned, characteristically on Consulate, absent last round, very much a factor this time. It is an Archives defense, so bringing as many C4s as you possibly can does make sense, but Valkyrie herself bringing those black eyes, that's an important primary gadget. Bullets will fly in, damaged Skins is still alive. That upstairs roam is yet to be fully penetrated and dealt with. Moved has made an entry into admin, so at the very least, they're making similar progress to what they did last time, but it is certainly slower. We've now passed the 2-minute mark, and Devil is still very much alive. Rotating back down, Skins might make the decision soon after if that call is made. He's also on low HP, so rotating would likely save his life in the long run. And at the very least, if they're stalling out Emergence much longer than they did last time, and where Emergence collapsed was that final minute, 30 seconds, that could be huge. But Goria with the opening pick, trying to even it out.
And who but Goria to find that all-important refrag? Devil goes down, a minute and a half left with a Legion still up. That would be definitely dire straits for Emergence if he was allowed to just recharge his goo mines and set them around wherever he wanted to, because those, not only do they slow you down, but if the planter gets a goo mine stuck in his foot, he can't plant. So knocking off the Legion, definitely a very important pick. And you've also knocked off Devil, who tends to be, despite the IGL and the hard support, a pretty damn good fragger. Faded, though, inside of Circle Desk, remaining undroned, catches Son of Finn on his descent down the spiral stairs. Now, luckily, despite being the ace, he was not carrying the diffuser. That's been left upstairs, so control of that not being forfeited to the defense, and Moved will find a refrag onto Skins. Down goes that Vigil, but his job pretty much done. I mean, there's only 50 seconds left, and Emergence are still trying to use this top floor to their advantage, whereas you've got Faded all the way in Piano, Tyrant and Anarchy below Tellers. They're playing for that C4. They've got the pulse sensor out. Anarchy can call out this info, and you've got 2 C4s. That is 2/3 of the remaining manpower on Emergence. If they get this plant down, that is a massive misplay by Wichita Wolves, but Moved holding that flank. Down goes Faded inside of Z, And now it's just those two C4 players down below to try and lock out the round. Now, Moved is low. He's very susceptible to a Nitro Cell that might not be exactly on the mark. They have the info, but Move can kind of see them through the floor. He'll take some pot shots down, but Goria, he's moving downstairs to try and counter the C4 play. Where's the C4? They're too distracted. Tyrant is tucked in a corner, and the Pulse is running up with his pistol to try and get the planter. He'll find him in the corner, but no, he lifts off just in time. The plant is completed, and Tyrant is on the floor. It's just Anarchy to try and clutch up, but he'll stick it. Where's Evil Clouds? He's got to get the fire in, and Anarchy does not lift off. Emergence take round number 2 after a great heads-up play to rotate downstairs and stop those C4s.
That was a huge play from Goria, just to cause enough distraction and worriedness in the hearts of the defense that they didn't have the confidence to go for that C4, which likely would have won them the round. A lot of the times we see it fail because somebody will try to plant on a desk or an elevated surface of some kind, but planting in that corner right on the soft floor, that would have been an easy kill with the Pulse still alive. But Goria with the rotate, not able to use that position as safely as they could have. But it wasn't a bad setup from Wichita Wolves, all things considered. They showed previously that they were able to... Well, actually, no, I was going to say they showed they'd be able to stall on the roam game in the first round, but they didn't. Emergence actually cleared it out fairly quickly, so scratch what I previously said. That was a good adjustment and overall learning from their mistakes on the roam game that time, with Devil, Skins, all up top, wasting the necessary time. Not often how we see Archives get defended. Most of the time, you have 4, 5 C4s all sitting down below, creating a minefield once the attackers walk in, but instead, Wichita Wolves slowly lured them further and further into the building, wasting as much time as they could. And in the 2v3 that was there at the very end, 2 C4s down below, and Faded, the last one alive without his C4 but still roaming, he could have been the X factor of that round, casting his own form of doubt in the minds of the attacking team. There was Moved, watching the flank, took him down, and once Goria rotated, that was the round done and dusted. Great play by Emergence on that one, recovery.
And even then, you know, hindsight and all being 2020, and, you know, you can't really fault them for this, but in a 3v3 like that with 2 C4s on the board and no time remaining, you know they're going to have to go for that play, and you know you're going to have to play for that C4 denial. Is flanking Z really the right move? Like you said, he could have been that X factor on the flank, but he could have also been an unaccounted X factor protecting those 2 Nitro players down below. If he was just at bottom of Visa stairs or in blue hallway, he could have stopped Goria, or at least delayed Goria long enough for those 2 players to get that plant denial off. But because he chose to flank and got killed, he was unable to do so. A little bit of a misplay, but of course, you know, as I said, hindsight's 2020. It's not necessarily their fault. They didn't know Moved was watching it. You know, whatever. Just fix it for next time. Skins is going to be the one on the Malusi now. As the bomb slate has changed, it's going to be Lobby. Not as much put on that C4 denial. I mean, you can from below, especially if it's a circle desk plant or a piano plant. Almost the entire floor is destructible over there, and you have that hatch to throw inside of circle desk. But it looks like those C4 players are either just playing upstairs or in the site just for standard hold/denial.
See Devil rotate up spiral stairs, try and counter really anybody up top. Ben took a little bit of damage, down to 75 HP, but nothing all too crazy, nothing to worry about. Devil on that flank, probably should have been worrying a bit more. Son of Finn takes him down. That's the opening pick in the favor of Emergence. Now this upstairs clear with one less body on the side of Wichita Wolves to aid it. It's going to be much easier. Now that final body on Skins, he's rotating all the way down to Garage. So, a minute 30 has been wasted. That's fairly solid on the side of Wichita. That's all the map control you truly need on the side of Emergence to make this attack work. Aside from directly into the site itself with the vertical destruction we see Ben bringing out. Bit of damage done to a lifeline, but we'll look past it. You still have Evil Clouds on the sledge. This is plenty to work with to try to get this diffuser down. It just depends on whether or not they're able to compose themselves in the final second. See them do it successfully once and fail again. With a 50-50 shot, with the last round pretty close in recent history, I think they have a good shot at getting that win.
Yeah, and Devil being your first death, I mean, sure, the Mutes got all his utility down, but that is a C4 gone. Faded as well, another form of plant denial, albeit a more important one will go down to Evil Clouds as the second pick, just as the site push comes through. They couldn't have picked a worse timing to lose their smoke, as Tyrant is also on the floor, but the plant is denied by Anarchy as Evil Clouds finishes off the down player. But Anarchy, no, he's been down in the process as well. It's just Skins. A 1v4 for the Malusi, and he'll have to expend his Nitro Cell to open the castle barricade, as well as take almost his HP off, and Moved is just there for the finisher. That was a pretty choreographed move at that point, and EMG able to take their second round in a row.
And that looked like much more round 1 Emergence than round 2 Emergence. Oddly enough, that was the round 1 was the round they lost, but that was when the roam clear was much stronger, and that was swiftly dealt with that go around by the attacking team. Devil on that flank dealt with pretty much immediately, and Skins stuck in bathroom, knowing that 2, 3, 4 attackers were all barreling down on his position, or at the very least very close by. Made the right decision by rotating down. Sure, a minute 30 was wasted, but you don't need all that much map control on lobby in the grand scheme of things that you might need for other bomb sites to make that work. All you have to do, open up holes above lobby, control that, make sure nobody can rotate in, and if you're watching anti, which is one of the most important positions, anti and back spiral, then you're pretty much good. It still looked a bit shaky on the plant, but at that point, they had the entire bomb site segmented off, picked every member of Wichita Wolves off one by one, and that was the round. Now going to basement, this was the site of a successful 2v4 clutch on the side of Wichita, but a failure in a closed-out round coming out from Emergence. If they repeat their successes last time, clearing out the roam clear, allocating the first 2 minutes of the round, as long as they fix that final 30 seconds and using the vertical play and the setup they give themselves, I think we can see an easy 3 rounds in a row from Emergence. They looked so good the first one anyway.
Yeah, they looked good the first one, and they were hot, and then they kind of cooled off in that 2v4, but they showed that, that's not going to bring them down. They immediately just took the next 2 in stride, and Wichita Wolves, their only round win being in a 2v4 clutch, that's not something that you can reliably count on every time. You can't be like, all right, boys, we're going to be putting the 2v4, just clutch up again, right? You can't do that. Wichita Wolves have to make some kind of adjustment. The first round, I think their roam definitely got pretty squandered. They fell off it really early, allowed EMG a lot of control. The big adjustment I want to see from EMG is getting Garage open, because that could have stopped that entire thing. But Tyrant on the roam, one of those players upstairs, he'll get the first frag on the Zoku.
Oh, he just gets a second.
I did not think he was going to get that.
I didn't think he would repeat it, but sometimes life says yes, as opposed to the game saying no, and he went for it. Good job. It cost him a lot of HP. That's exactly what you want to make out of a roam clear. 5v3, now Wichita in the man advantage. This is looking pretty solid, and there's still a solid roam game on the second floor. Devil hasn't rotated back yet. Tyrant himself, weak as he is contemplating staying inside of main lobby and holding the line with the rest of his team. Now Emergence on the back foot. They do still have Son of Finn on the ace, but they have lost Evil Clouds on the sledge. Last time he did fail to take off that Cade charge, but now they won't even have the option to take it down unless they want to use Goria and some of his Ash charges, and that might not be the most reliable thing. Maybe you can take out an Evil Eye. With how small that Cade charge is, it could be risky and still take a lot of time. Wichita have set themselves up in a great position to win this out, and the longer that Devil and the rest of the team hold on to main lobby with everything they do, even if they both get taken down, if it's 30, 20, 15 seconds left when that happens, Wichita have a great time, or great chance at winning out this round.
Something else I'd like to point out. So you saw when the...
Okay,
all right, Tyler's just going to get his third running out. You heard when, when the Malusi threw her impact at the ground in piano? I heard like an electric zap noise, like something got destroyed. And I was gonna say, I really hope that's not the Electro Claw, but it's inconsequential because the ace is dead. Actually, it wasn't the Electro Claw. I don't know what I heard then. So, Son of Finn, outside, not expecting to get run out upon by Tyrant. That's actually Tyrant's first 3 kills now, and it's a quad kill for Tyrant. On the flank, taking down the flank watcher. No, actually, that may have been through the floor. Just Goria. It's the superstar of Emergence in a 1 versus 5. He gets 1. He'll deny the ace from Tyrant, but he can't find Faded, as there's just 2 different bodies staring at him. Wichita Wolves with a great recovery, tied up 2-2.
You also got to give it to Tyrant there. Wichita Wolves overall solid strategy, but Tyrant, he just, aside from that very final kill on Goria, and let's be honest, he's now on 25 HP, probably wins that fight versus Goria based on how it was going. Still managed to land a couple shots, but a lot of that does go in the favor of Tyrant simply peeking pretty much everything. Even angles he probably shouldn't have, talking about that re-peek and that second kill upstairs.
Dude,
but those 4...
I thought he was going to lose that. Both of them missed so many shots.
Yeah. And I don't even know how did he peek out... Okay. How did he peek out main door on 25 HP, especially with the new run-out timer, and kill someone basically all the way by garage?
I think Son of Finn was droning.
Maybe. That could be possible.
He may have been droning. Because otherwise, I don't see any point in like sitting there crouched right next to the window, unless you're on good. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that.
Well, we can assume that, but even then, like, let's say Emergence, you can probably, I mean, they obviously know they don't need to assume, but Emergence, you've lost basement twice now. That is the site that defenders are probably the most likely to win, and you've won pretty handily the other two, and now Wichita Wolves forced to go to archives. Came a bit close towards the end, but it was a good rotation, a bit of a misplay by Wichita to end up losing out that round. Emergence, you don't need to be too worried. The only 2 rounds you've lost have been because of a clutch and one player popping off in a big way. The confidence is still certainly on your side. So overall, unless Devil just somehow absolutely smashes someone on the spawn peak, I still think Emergence, they're probably chilling. They're probably all good right now. They're not worried.
Yeah. I think though, if Wichita Wolves definitely make that adjustment and just play the roam as well as they did the last time they defended archives, and just play the latter half of the round a little bit more passively, I think it'll definitely go their way. But of course, you know, in order to see how it works out, Emergence have to get in the building first. They'll have to deal with the Legion individual on the top floor. Faded again, kind of playing in and around Piano with the 2 C4 players of Anarchy and Tyrant down below. Now, they don't have the Valkyrie this time, so it's a lot less intel at their disposal, but Son of Finn, he's going to be able to find the Vigil, one of those intel deniers, and that's not the way you want your roam to start off.
If you recall on that archives round, the roam was fairly strong. Devil, Skins, slowly luring people in, wasting as much time as they could, and now half of that is already dead. Half of that no longer a factor, and it's up to Devil, who, very good player in his own right, don't get me wrong, but 1v4ing people on top floor is probably not something that he wants to do or is capable of unless Emergence throw. He's already rotated. That's just unfortunate.
Did you see that?
I wasn't quite sure what happened. Did he step on like 3 goo mines?
No, so the Zoph stepped on a goo mine, and Devil knew where the goo mine was. So when he heard the sound cue, he tried to floor bang.
Oh.
Dude, if that worked, I would have just, my mind would have been blown.
It's unfortunate it didn't. Devil probably would have been freaking out in the comms over that.
I would have DM'd him on Twitter.
Mid-match, you would have just
I would have been
yo,
like, bro.
sick play on the Legion, bro. Son of Finn will get the 2nd kill on Defeated, so good play from him so far this round. Taking down the Malusi and the Vigil. Devil surely will rotate all the way back down. And now it's looking like we might see that situation that you and I talked about. Never mind, he is just sitting inside of Archive. Still not a terrible position, but you remember last time Crow suggested when Goria rotated down, if Faded, who was alive in that 2v3, had rotated back down to site and prevented Goria from pushing, that likely would have won them the round. Now Devil is in a much more in-your-face position. Now it's a 2v5, only 1 person left on the site, that being Anarchy with the pulse. To be fair, okay, he's dead now. It's all left up to Devil. In a 1v5, stuck inside of Archives. Will spot Son of Finn. That's the diffuser, but still 4 more you have to cut through. 1 directly behind you. Or actually 2 behind you. Will spot the head of 1. That's a double for him. Almost a triple, but moved is more concise on the shots. He'll land those. Emergence win Archives twice. They secure round 5.
I have a big problem with that round.
What's your big problem? That was perfect.
There were 3 defenders dead on yellow stairs.
No.
Why?
No.
All right, so you
didn't
lose your first roamer, right? Skins is dead.
You're
It's
hallucinating.
early. It's not how you want it to go. Whatever. Sucks. Move on. Life moves
past
on.
it. Move past
Right?
it.
Life moves on. Devil is like, I can't hold top floor by myself. I'll rotate down to tellers. Great. I mean, he got 2 kills. Great play. Brilliant idea.
They were exit frags, but
Son
move
of
past that
Finn
too.
is sitting on Skylight. I mean, I kind of assume Wichita Wolves were like, why is he still on Skylight? Faded. So it's that position on Skylight that you can see like all the way down yellow stairs. So Faded walks up. He's like, I'll retake yellow. Dies. It is a 3v5. There is a Nomad up. They have drones. They have all of their... Why is the counter still going up?
Can I guess? Wait, can I guess what happens next?
What happens next, Carter?
Does Tyrant go, I'ma retake yellow?
Yeah! Yeah, he does. And do you want to guess what happened?
It worked perfectly and they won the round.
10 seconds to go.
Is that
He
not what
died.
happened? Am I watching
He died.
the same game as you?
He died immediately. He got destroyed by moves on the
Check
flank
clean
watch.
feed. Might be watching
Okay.
it.
He got destroyed by moved on the flank, watch. It's a 2v5. Your pulse downstairs has literally no help because everyone rotated away. So Anarchy just gets caught with his, I think with his scanner up, probably. And from there, it's Devil in a 1v5. Sure, Devil does his best. I mean, he gets 2 kills. Getting 2 kills in that position is already, like, shouldn't have happened. But there's just, they know exactly where he is. There's no way he's winning it. They're barreling down on him from all directions. That was definitely a very odd series of events from Wichita Wolves.
You know what's actually coincidental?
What?
Talk about, they know where he is, barreling down. Okay, I was about to talk about how Devil basically has nowhere to move once they drone him, but he just killed moved on the rappel directly to the left of him.
He has nowhere to move because moved is dead.
I
get it.
Okay.
Good pun, Carter.
I hate it. I hate it when people win gunfights in that position. Like, he's literally trapped on a box. You know where he is.
Dude, haven't you seen the aerial arise top-down hold where Whitlock gets at least 1 kill every time from the
Is that so much? Like, listen, Whitlock and Ariel Arise, great guy, great player, great team. Is that so much a testament to him, or people just peeking the box
Both.
with like, okay,
yeah.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Also, the site is no longer tellers, by the way. It's a lobby.
it's lobby.
And so Goria is like, there's guys in admin? No. And he's just going to walk in below tellers. Devil could be susceptible to the peek, but no, he'll run down the stairs instead of moving through Visa. But Son of Finn will find the first refrag for his team. He is repelled outside the spiral stairs windows. That is truly unfortunate for Skins, who is now 1-5. Son of Finn has just caught people off on, like, positions that if you died to in ranked, you'd be like, why are you there? Evil Claws will also get a nade kill onto Faded, so down goes the smoke, and down goes your Jaeger of Devil. Gory attacks on for another, and Tyrant goes down as well. It's a 1v4. It's just Anarchy. So it was 1 kill for Wichita Wolves, and Emergence have now gotten 5 in a row. They lose the first body and win the rest of the round flawlessly. It's a 4-2 half.
Yeah, that was the very first time they attacked lobby, aside from, the archives, the very first archives round where they literally got the plant down. That first lobby attack was the closest they came to getting the plant down a second time, as opposed to that attack where they just killed everybody. People peeked. Aside from moved, God rest his soul, who peeked Devil, and it didn't work out. 416, put a bullet in his face. But overall, every single gunfight that Emergence tried to take, and even Evil with a grenade, something he's not done very well with so far, finally managed to get that one nade, or impactful nade play in the very last round. It was just Emergence all the way through. Goria, especially with that push into Visa, just ignoring the presence inside of admin and just like, I'll just take below. Very good momentum to gain for your team. And as a result, good reason why they run that round. Now they're going to the defense, starting out on basement. I'm intrigued to see, as we do have a little bit of a different setup. See Amazi being brought up by Move, but overall, fairly the same. If they choose to roam as heavily as Wichita Wolves did, or if they play it a bit closer, I imagine we will see a roam, but I wonder if it'll be as much of a concerted effort up top than on the second floor, or if it'll be more like, bait out some drones on the top floor, then focus most of your energy on the second floor. Who knows? Anything.
It'd be great if Wichita Wolves started hitting their shots.
I think they think that too.
That's been kind of a constant issue through not just this match, but like the rest of them too. Is just like their takes are weird and they lose their fights.
You're forgetting the 2 rounds where they did hit their shots. In all fairness, they did it twice.
That's true. That is a 33.3 repeating percent hit shot round success rate.
Do you remember when Tyrant actually hit 4 of his shots?
He did.
By 4 of his shots, I mean he killed 4 people. That was cool.
That was cool. And Anarchy and Faded got a 2v4 clutch. And then
that happened too.
Every other round, it seemed like Wichita Wolves just didn't do anything.
It would be really
with the
cool
exception of the
Tellers.
The first Tellers Archives defense was kind of close. The other 3 rounds,
weren't.
Not great. All right, we're on pause. We can get back in the game. All right. I know someone in chat is saying my negative energy is taking years off their life, and to that I say, my bad.
That is quantifiably, certifiably, qualitatively his bad.
irrevocably.
Defenders protect the bomb from
Undoubtedly.
being defused by attackers.
You know what that reminded me of for some reason?
What?
Our fictional comp team of the 5 people who
Oh,
speak well.
what was it? Diction, verbose, loquacious,
syntax.
yeah, syntax, and eloquence. Dude, what a banger team.
Dude, somebody's got to make that.
Up against, what were they against? Like idiocy,
Attackers
I don't even
Moronic,
remember. That was like
ignorance,
that was an
stupidity.
afterthought.
and I don't know, something else.
Also, by the way, moved is on Valkyrie.
Moved is indeed
He
on
was on
Valkyrie.
Mozzie before.
We
Now he's
saw-
on Valk.
How many times did we see Valkyrie?
Attackers
Not
are
much.
heading out to defuse a bomb.
Maybe twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it was like
Yeah.
twice. Like
For
two.
Consulate, you think we would have seen Valk, at least one more time.
Yeah, you think if they had intel, they wouldn't keep retaking yellow? I don't know. Just
You
a thought.
know?
But moved is
That's a
putting
good
his
thing.
he's putting
Wait.
his cams around.
Wait,
Wait, we've even got a bulletproof cam from Ben.
hold on. No, I gotta rewind for a sec. Because they played Valk the first Archives defense.
Yeah, and then they didn't after that. Wow. That dude just got
That's-
destroyed.
That's, wow.
Well, so much
That
for
is just
Valkyrie.
unfortunate.
She used her nitro at least. I mean, it missed, but she used it. She's also already got her cams down. So that's great. Not the biggest pick in the world, and immediate refrag. Goria, who strangely enough is playing Cade, will get the C4 kill onto Skins, revenge for his teammate, while all the way on the top floor, Tyrant is going to go down to the Jaeger. 2 kills to respond to Move's death, and Emergence have re-cemented the man advantage.
You see a Z ping up top, so potentially intel on the position of Ben, and he will fell the Jaeger. See, I had it all planned out. I knew the future before it even happened. It's a 3v3 now. The Jaeger falls, the entire roaming presence. Now dealt with. With a minute 30 left, it's been rough for Wichita Wolves so far on the attack, but there's still a fair bit of time to work with. You have the Sledge alive, Devil with the Hibana can still do some work, and Faded on the Nomad. These are some fairly impactful operators. I mean, thankfully there's no Maestro, so you don't have to deal with Evil Eyes, but if that Cage charge is still up, and Goria with one more in his pocket could throw it on the triple wall, is still a little bit of electrified, but they don't deal with him, that could be risky, but you have a fair bit of utility to work with. It's now just focusing on getting that vertical destruction, playing off the angles you create, and creating fractions and pushing the defenders into positions that make them uncomfortable. Now the Goria still has that wall electrified, has an electric claw in his pocket. The longer Wichita waste, the less likely this round gets for them to win. And right now, looking pretty damn unlikely with how they're using their final 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say taking out Ben on the top floor with a minute left was a big boon to this attack, but not being able to get those electric claws out of the way quick enough might be equally as big of a boon to the defense. Now, we did hear the explosion of the X-Cairo, so the wall is likely open. They do have not only White Van open, but a line of sight all the way from the back into garage by Yellow Pillar. Devil starting to stun out, but he'll get the third all the way over towards Pipes, and they'll find the kill. Anarchy on the Son of Finn, but Gory with a refrag on the Faded. That was your man on Yellow to try and cover the cross. Devil knows he's just gonna move in, but the Malusi goes down, and it's just Goria. No C4, 1v2. Where's Anarchy? He's on Yellow stairs, but he's trapped in the Malusi Banshee, but wins the fight anyway. Wichita Wolves, they take round number 7 after losing 2 in a row.
It was looking incredibly worrisome with that wall not being open for a good portion of their final minute of that round. After all, that's how Emergence lost an attack themselves on basement twice. They ended up losing in. They were in the same position that Wichita did to Emergence. There we go. Got the sense out. When they were on the defense. Now they're in that same position. 3v3. Wall's not open at the final 30 seconds. It's looking good. But then Devil manages to get it open. Okay, that's great. But Son of Finn is still alive on that smoke. And despite the fact that he got taken down, he still managed to lob his final smoke canister at the breach, set it off. And that means that Devil either has to push through the smoke or waste even more time and get the plant down with just seconds to spare. What did we see Wichita do? For once, we saw their guns come alive. They managed to push in those final 15, 10, 5 seconds and get the kills necessary. It was a bit sloppy, not saying it was perfect. With the angles they set up, managing to get that plant down. You also have to thank Devil getting that Malusi inside a kitchen. A huge pick while also having to get the plant down. Those guns finally coming alive for what won Wichita that round. Now the question is, can they carry through that on the second half when for most of this match so far, they've been pretty silent.
10 seconds remaining.
Shout out to young Alec in chat.
What,
Oh,
Alec?
boy. I don't know.
Attackers
He was, I just
detected
saw him
and
there.
defuse a bomb.
Shout out to one of my favorite players of all time. Also, shout out to Gunner, who grooms children, namely Og. Fun fact.
I don't know what to do after that one. So you remember? So this is what an indemnification clause is for.
Sounds
think
like you
that
should get
could-
liability insurance.
Maybe I should.
Shout out
I
to
was-
Ty Tangles for
Shout out
telling
to
us
Ty
to get
Tangles.
liability insurance.
Good guy. He's a good guy.
For May, now worried that we might need liability insurance.
Gunner can't sue. What's Gunner
That's
gonna do?
true. He's underage. What he thinks doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't think that's a barrier to sue, but whatever.
He probably can't read a legal document, so.
That, I think, is more likely. Ben read perfectly into Skins, the opening pick, or Skins got the opening pick last time. Now,
Fantastic
he's the one.
transition.
He's the one. I do him so well. Just as Faded did Ben dirty. I'm done with him now. That was too much. I'm sorry. He won't get the refrag. Now even 4-4, playing out similarly to how it played out previously, with the trade coming in soon after, albeit positions reversed a little bit, moved also rotating down, as the site is basement. Giving it a second go, came down fairly close to the wire, so understandable. I'm for that position. Just depends on whether or not they can either prevent Garage Wall from getting opened or roam a bit more effectively. Looks like that second one not working out, so you're going to have to focus more on that actual site execute being prevented.
That's unfortunate.
That's,
Is that guy on a
that's unlucky.
table?
He is
And
on
they,
a desk.
They used another one. All right, so all of your C4 is now gone. The only plantinale you really have is
The desk.
the smokes, and if the evil eyes from evil clouds are still up. Wichita Wolves, I don't think they really dispatched of much utility in the previous round other than flashing into pipes, but no Electro Claw, a much earlier opening of that garage wall as Faded finds another kill onto Moved. Now the man count in Wichita Wolves' advantage by 1 player. The smoke's still inside of pipes. He's got a shield to play with. Last time it was taken out and forced him into the line of sight of that player above, but Goria finds a kill for his team. Down goes Faded, down goes that Nomad and that flank watch, and that allows the player back into blue. Goria playing the long angle. He'll take a little bit of damage, but now he knows there's someone on Spiral, but the plant is going down by Devil, and because of that Spiral presence, Goria can't fight it. He does get the kill on the Tyrant, so that player cutting off the cross does go down as Devil damage, but both Son of Fin and Evil Clouds are now down. Son of Fin finished off. It's just Goria, the big player for Emergence. We've highlighted him time and time again. But can he clutch up? He's got 30 seconds. He'll go for the revive, but as he does, it's baited perfectly by Devil, and Wichita Wolves string 2 rounds together. We're tied up 4-4.
I guess if we learned anything so far is you don't take Wichita Wolves to basement. It is the only bomb site they have won on both defense and attack. Little fun fact for you, because
Hell yeah.
I don't know. This is the world we live in. So Emergence, after that, they're like, all right, guys, I don't think basement is going to work anymore. So they'll go to Archives Tellers right now. Don't have a pulse. I mean, you don't need a pulse to make it work, but it's like, come on, man. You're not losing anything by bringing a pulse. You might as well, but they're not going to. Instead, they're like Ben on Jaeger. That is the play.
Attackers
So I
need to
assume they'll
locate
roam
and defuse
fairly, or
bombs.
at least somewhat heavily. Maybe not, as heavily as Wichita, but still. I don't know. I always get worried when teams don't bring pulse. Like, obviously it depends on the tier. Like, if I'm seeing, like, TSM, they're not bringing pulse, I'm like, okay, maybe they got something figured out. But if I'm seeing Emergence, now obviously, not to discredit them, they probably got it figured out, but pulse is such a crucial operator that, I don't know, just not having him on an Archives defense, it can be a bit tough sometimes.
You know who I'm about to reference?
Who are you gonna reference?
Aerial Arise.
Oh, there it is.
Always play this site without a
Could've
pulse. And that's
predicted
because
that
they
one.
have bulletproof cams, they have the evil eyes, they sometimes even have the banshees in there for intel, they even have, Mozzie pests. Like if Gunner, I know, Gunner, usually if he gets a drone, he's booking it right in the site for that extra intel. Because if you have all these cams, and you're able to delay the attackers long enough, they're not going to have enough time to actually dispatch of your intel. So at that point, you can just go ahead and C4 them from below, because even if, something like a bulletproof cam, if it has enough view of the site, and there's only like one part it's not covering, if you know they're planting and you can't see them, knowing where they're not is sometimes just as important as knowing where they are. So I don't doubt Emergence have a similar plan. Bulletproof Cam, Maestro Evil Eyes, they've got plenty of intel that could potentially be at their disposal to sit inside of tellers. That is a... How did he... All right, moved a little bit late on that trigger of the C4. He tossed it out, like, literally perfectly, and just let the Zombie get away with it. Now, Tyrant's gonna chase him down, and that was very ill-advised. He had no intel other than, hey, Mozzie went over there. He tried to swing, it failed. Down goes your Zofia, and again, a very important member, not just for stun locking those C4 players, but also for taking out all that bulletproof intel the defenders have inside of tellers.
See moves slowly rotating down. I say that. Now he's going for the repeat. Gonna try and take the engagement again. Skins on the ashes inside of there. The sledge as well. He'll fire some of those P10 Roni shots and hold the pixel, but isn't able to find much. And while he fails to find the sledge, Anarchy, the sledge himself, finds Son of Finn, his teammate. One of your C4s now gone. Only one left in the hands of Goria. He is the only one this entire defensive half for Emergence that's been able to make a C4 kill work. Recall to that very first defensive round. He got a C4 kill. It was one of the opening picks. So if it's going to be in the hands of anybody, surely it being in the hands of him is a good move, but he's still off the site. He's in a pretty vulnerable position if the attacking team decides to go for a pinch. With Devil coming from bottom spiral and plenty of attackers up top, this could be the position. But no, Devil doesn't look. He walks back into sight. This is a perfect position for Goria to try to make this work. He'll rotate in, get some shots down onto the Hibana, but not enough to seal her fate. Only on 50 HP, Devil will vault up, start to get down the plant. With Goria still up top, this is a strong position in and of itself. He can use the sledge holes, and with the sledge looking away, could get the kill, but he ADSs at the wrong time, and Anarchy's just not even aware. It's a 3v3. Skins with the refract, takes the head off Ben. Now Wichita Wolves, the ones who got the bomb down, are in the man advantage. Evil takes a hell of a lot of damage down below. Goria's still up top with that C4. With the diffuser down and time ticking away, you have to wonder, could have been utilized better. The air jab knocks down the Hibana, and the Malusi. Devil gets up, draws first, and kills him. And he kills Crow as well.
That was pretty funny. So, Wichita Wolves, a much better string of rounds, 3 in a row, to not just tie up the game, but also take the lead. Now, that Teller's attack, I want to put a lot of focus on losing Tyrant and then pushing site. They lost Tyrant. They knew there were people playing upstairs. You had Anarchy kill one of the players down on Tyler's. That was Son of Finn. The smoke gone. And Wichita Wolves say, hey, there's no one Visa. No one playing Visa Stairs. There's no one in Tellers. Let's just bum rush site. And it worked. Goria, unfortunately, could not hit enough shots in time. You can kind of pin that on the MP5's low damage per shot. I think it's, 29 points of damage or something per shot? Something like that. It's pretty weak.
I think it used to be like 32, and then they
they nerfed it. So now Echo's gun is actually slightly stronger. So Goria didn't hit enough shots.
Figure that one out.
Devil got away, able to plant on the filing cabinet. Perfect cover from his team, both in the site and above. Anarchy, sure, he got killed by the Malusi eventually, but it was just way too late. It was a post-plant. Most of Goria's team was already dead. You had the two last defenders as well, were completely isolated from each other. That was just pretty much an easy cleanup for Wichita Wolves. So they've definitely seemed to have woken up. This is not the weak, whiffing, weird Wichita Wolves that we've seen over the past couple days. Yeah. They definitely look like they've started to hit their stride again.
Yeah, it's not the withdrawn Wichita Wolves we've seen previously. They've certainly woken up. They've weathered the storm so far, and they are ready to get... I don't know. That made me laugh. Bro's just completely stone-faced. He didn't think that was real. He was.
What?
You're not even listening.
Can you repeat it?
I made fun of my speech impediment.
You have a speech impediment?
As I said, I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it. I fixed it. I don't have it anymore.
You fixed your woticism?
Auto fixed his woticism.
I used to not be able to... Cruel.
That is kind of cruel. I used to not be able to say my R's.
Yeah. People with lisps will say lisp.
Should we tell them about Wednesday?
People with rhoticism will say woticism. Oh yeah. you were almost named after the little girl from the Addams Family.
Okay, that's not where they got it from. For 2 seconds, my mom was like, "Hey, what if we named him Wednesday?" And my dad was like, "No," and they didn't. 'Cause that's not my name.
I'm
You can
very-
see
Very
because
glad they didn't.
wait.
Yeah, you got it right.
Wait.
You got it.
Oh, wait. Nope. There we go. It says Carter instead of Wednesday. Dude, I was performing neurosurgery there. That was close. I couldn't.
As many bombs as they can.
What?
Attackers located a bomb.
I love you, Ferme.
What did Ferme do?
You changed your caster box name to Wednesday.
He did?
Yeah.
Change it back right now. Show me the Wednesday. Show me Wednesday. I didn't see it. Bring it back. Or don't listen to me. Whatever. My bad. That's on me. There we go. It does say Wednesday. It doesn't even say my last name. It just says Wednesday. Well,
Days of the week don't have last names.
all right. I mean, like,
5 seconds.
I wouldn't be the day.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
That was pretty funny. I gotta tell you. Warrior's using the Charlie Brown skin. I hate it here.
I love how too our thing will be, you know, instead of laughing, we'll just state that something was really funny.
I mean, sometimes you have that where, like, you think something's funny, but you don't laugh. You're like, that was funny. You acknowledge it. I do that. I mean, mostly because, you know, you don't make me
There's
laugh.
just okay. Son of Finn is what do you call that window? I don't think I've ever had to call that window out.
I don't think I have either. No, because Visa window is the other one.
Visa stairs window, short and sweet. There we go.
Vending window. There's a vending machine by it. Oh,
Oh,
there's
yo.
there's
Soda
vendings
window?
upstairs, though.
Yeah, but there's no window by there. So
Actually,
I think soda window works. That's kind of quick. Wow, that is a C4 from Son of Finn. They already knew he was there, but he'll still get a kill onto Tyrant as well as down Anarchy. At least he's refragged. At least, so there's a little bit of a saving grace there from Wichita Wolves. But so far, because of that C4, Emergence squarely in the advantage. A minute 45 left in the round. Anarchy will at least get picked up, but there's still 2 roamers to find. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the site is down on lobby. So not only do they have to kill these 2 roamers, they also have to go and make that rotate downstairs to get the plant.
You also have to kill Goria, who is, of course, built different. With a 1.5 on the MPX, he can probably do some pretty solid work with it. Ben will do some work himself. He'll put Skiz down, and actually they'll both be down but not out. He'll be the one finished off first. Let's fade with his second kill. Skin's in a position to be revived outside on Projector Balk. Goria not really in a position to contest. That's easy for Devil to pick him back up. Going into the final minute, Goria... Oh, Moved is also up top, I just realized. There is one person on site. There is one person on the bomb site.
I mean, it's Echo.
And Wichita. They're pushing it, though. They are finally pushing it. It is Echo as well, so that's a bit worrisome. There's yokais. You don't often see Echo that much anymore, but when he's brought out, he can still be very impactful. After all, he's mostly just not played that much because he was, you know, quarantined for 18 billion years. Now he's back. Evil Clouds is on a yokai. And if Wichita Wolves don't shoot it, Devil's going to have a hard time getting that plant down. One smoke grenade, actually his last smoke grenade, will be used to clear off the antechamber angle. And they didn't capitalize on it whatsoever. So now going into plant with no cover will be a bit challenging. While there is coverage in the form of teammates watching angles. They haven't watched the yokai.
What?
One will get stunned. Goria peeks up, takes off his head. Moved follows up with a second kill. Now Devil getting ZP'd. His easy pickings for the Warden. In Anarchy on 25 HP up top. Nowhere in a position to get the diffuser. Move decommissions him.
What?
Emergence get their first round in quite a while. You want to break that one down?
He just walked in. Like... Wichita Wolves had an okay roam clear. Like... They got 2 people. And then their site attempt, their execute attempt, they didn't act on the smoke grenades. Didn't have anyone to cut off, like by Spiral or by the hallway. They still didn't really take upstairs, and Faded walked in to try and kill the yokai. Where the yokai was, I don't think you actually needed to, and even then,
Attackers need
like,
to
just
locate and defuse
wait
as
the
many
stuns
bombs as
out.
they can.
You still had plenty of time. Echo can only get you so many times. That was an odd play from Faded. Him dying to the shield of Gory. I mean, maybe he just wasn't aware that Gory was playing the shield. I would assume that's what happened. And then Devil just kind of stuck the plant. He was getting constantly Z-ping, so they wouldn't have known if he came off of it. That was a really easy kill for Gory. And Anarchy, player who was down earlier by that C4, was the only one left. Wichita Wolves just not a great execute at all. Not prepared to deal with that yokai, not prepared to deal with Goria. So now it's 5-5. The lead that Wichita Wolves, that one-round lead that they held, has now poofed. It's gone.
Attackers are moving to defuse a
On the
bomb.
bright side, they get to attack
What the
basement.
hell is that?
I want to be honest. I blinked, and right as you said that, what happened?
That.
What is that? What?
I just,
I don't know what that is. Is that like
I
a
don't know.
yokai? Like bugging out?
is that a
Okay, so it is
yokai?
an echo. I guess that's an echo drone. Maybe it's like maybe it's the fuzz it emits when it levitates. Fuzz is a bad word, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like the-
that is
like
a yokai.
the-
It passes the squint test by just a hair.
Oh, shut up.
That will get the opening pick onto Sonafin. That's the Valkyrie gone. Now the question is how long those black eyes can remain alive. If you want to question how long her impact will be. It's also not a very extended roam on the side of Emergence. It was just Oria moving up top by just a hair. He'll rotate back down, just playing Spiral, likely oscillating between the top and the bottom wherever he is needed. But as for the rest, this is very good for Wichita Wolves, who already showed to be very adept at acquiring map control, and now it's for free. You barely even have to put up a fight to try and achieve it, but Goria will put up at least some semblance of one. Rotate back down, though, as he's been caught out, thrown right behind him. He'll destroy it. This is pretty much all you want when you're Wichita Wolves in the attack, and there's still a minute 40 left.
There is indeed a minute 40 left. I'm very happy that you can tell time. That is an important skill.
Reading is hard, but I think I'm getting better.
You can do the numbers.
My numeracy is off the charts.
Devil is Hibana, so he's going to be able to pretty much open that hatch for free. Ben does not have an Electro Claw in his pocket to trick, so a lot of control now afforded to the attackers, and there's nothing on the garage wall as Wichita Wolves have taken the Electro Claw off of it. So, plenty of time to get that breach open, plenty of time for Anarchy to do his little construction work on the piano floor. That is a markedly thinner angle at the top watching into Yellow Pillar, but I don't think they've really used that a lot. It's mainly just been the presence from Yellow and the presence above, and Devil being able to just kind of walk into sight. Tyrant is trying to make his way down Yellow, cover his teammate as best he can. It's a great angle to play. It's a power position, but there is someone, I believe, close pipes that could swing on him at any time. Melusi behind the shield as well. Goria will spot him out. Zofia does not want to take that too aggressively, but Moved goes down to the Nomad of Faded. I'm not sure where Moved was. I think he tried to go for a flank upstairs and to take out the sledge, and luckily Faded was there to watch his teammates back. Goria is also 1 HP as Devil's getting this plant down. Oh no, the C4 misses from Emergence, so this is a free plant. Devil's able to get it down. Beautiful cover from Yellow Stairs. Will down Ben before Goria trades him out, but 40 seconds left on this plant timer. Here comes Evil Clouds. He catches Devil as Devil decides, instead of going out the breach, he'll push upside White. Ben will also be recovered, but all of these defenders are on very low HP, and you still have the sledge above. No one outside, curiously enough, for Wichita Wolves. Most of them pushing actually towards the back of the basement and watching upstairs by Spiral. Evil Clouds is going to go for it. Where's the presence from above? He's going to get killed by Anarchy, a hole that Ben was not watching, and he'll get killed by Faded. Wichita Wolves, it was definitely, I think, a little bit messier than it could have been, but nonetheless, they'll take round 11 and secure a map point.
As well, the 5th time they have won basement out of the 5 times it has been played so far this matchup. So that is just the bomb site you really do not want to attack them on. And yeah, it was a lot messier than it could have been. But once you get that bomb down on basement, that is just an absolute nightmare of a post-plant situation to play if you're the defense. Though, oddly enough, we did not see the standard position outside on garage behind the car out there. I don't know if it's I don't know what the car out there is. It's just kind of just a car, van kind of thing.
Oh,
Overall,
the one outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the car.
My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Right.
defenders. Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
First said my mic was popping, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm just not confused. Well, I mean, I am confused, but like, not about that.
Doesn't matter.
It just went up again. Okay, now you are confusing me, because why is it going up?
Get
10
destroyed.
seconds remaining.
Now I'm just worried my mic is popping, man.
5 seconds left before insertion.
I just don't want it to pop.
Attackers
If
are
I,
moving out
if,
to
if I had a
locate the
fan,
bomb.
it would make sense. Like, it'd be like, oh, it's because the fan is going, but I don't. I can tell because I'm sweating.
I'm your fan.
Aww.
So, alright, Max has now started singing Lady Gaga, so I'm gonna kindly ask him to shut the hell up. As Goria, on his spawn peak, did not find anything. And you know what, Carter? Son of Finn.
He's just chilling. Just vibing right there at the window. Why? Okay. I don't know why you would ever pick that angle when it's 30 seconds into the round, and there are definitely, at the very least, 2 guys out there, but bold play that will go unpunished. Will get shot by Tyrant. That could have been risky for him, and Goria has been fairly good with the C4s, at least comparatively, but now it's the first and only one destroyed so far. That's a bit of a, bit of a statement to start it out. You do still have to, actually clear out the defenders, as it's a top floor clear, and Son of Finn is just prone below admin window, but hey, very least you've taken off that bit of utility, but Son of Finn has taken off some utility of his own. Anarchy the Sledge, that oh-so-important operator on Consulate and many maps, opening pick. And there goes the Ash as well, due to a run out from Evil Clouds. Iron on 25 HP, it's looking like a tough round for Wichita.
And it's looking like OT. Also, before, when I just said Son of Finn had stopped, I was going to do the bit where I don't talk, but then you just kind of picked it up and it ruined it. The Ying will move in, though. He'll get a kill onto Evil Clouds. He'll take some vengeance from his earlier teammate's death, and another one as Ben peeks right into his LMG. So back to even man count, but HP advantage significantly in Emergence's favor. Inside the site, he's going to be able to dispatch of some of that utility. Down goes a Banshee, an ADS, and a Black Eye. There's someone coming on the Visa stairs, but oh, he avoids the Nomad, but no, on the repeat, Faded takes him out. Moved is still below as Goria gets the kill on the Tyrant. There's the yellow pings. Moved is trying to make the hole, but no, they're trying to get it from above, and they just can't. The plant goes down as everybody on the defense misses every shot despite having the intel. And now it's a post-plant. Goria on top, Moved coming up from the bottom. Devil finds the kill, finishes off the low HP Malusi, and it's just the Pulse, UMP in hand. He's got 23 seconds to find these last 2 players as Devil and Faded start to back off. He'll whisk the shots on the Ying. Unfortunately, he's got pings on both of them, but here comes Devil from the doorway. Moved isn't looking, and Wichita Wolves are able to deny overtime, take round number 12, and take map number 1.
I mean, what do you say about that? That is just...
That was Devil walking in and making it happen.
That's also unfortunate for Emergence. I mean, you saw how close, how indescribably close Goria was to landing the necessary shots on the planter of Devil. And he was just a millimeter off. And it cost them the map. That was, and probably should have been overtime by all metrics, Crow. You're correct on that one.
Yeah.
But it's moments like that where you're so close, but not close enough, that it just costs you. Now Wichita ended 7-5. They go to map 2, up in the map count.
I really thought Emergence was going to be able to take that to OT with those first 2 picks, and Devil said, nope.
Nope.
Nope. In fact, Faded, being the nomad, tied Goria's scoreline. They were both 14-7, Devil being 13-7 on hard support. So, those support players, not to be slept on Wichita Wolves.
Yeah, Wichita Wolves really brought it back. I think a lot of people were going into this matchup expecting this to be kind of a blowout for one way or another, but no. Instead, it was kind of a complete reversal. Crow, especially you, not really thinking much would happen in this matchup here, but pleasantly surprised on Consulate today.
Yeah, I'm glad Wichita Wolves was able to take their own map pick. You know, I think it's, who is it, Lycan, who had the philosophy, hey, just prepare for your map, You win your map, you expect them to win their map. As long as you have the decider on lock, you've pretty much won the game. So Wichita Wolves being able to prove that despite being absolutely destroyed by Down to Earth on this map, they've still got some fire in them. They're able to take Emergence down, and what a lot of people thought was going to be an easy 2-0 for Emergence, it's not going to be so.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about that potential 2-0 links, or I'm sorry, Wednesday. What happened in those final rounds?
All
Things
right.
suddenly just turned topsy-turvy.
What happened to those final rounds? I'm starting to get angry, is what's happening about my mnemonic. What actually happened in terms of games was Emergence just made some crucial mistakes when they shouldn't have. I mean, Wichita Wolves were just, aside from that last round that they attacked basement, which looked a bit sloppier to say the least, they just had attacking that bomb site on lock, and Emergence just weren't able to come up to the challenge, especially those first couple times. So that already, winning one of the primary bomb sites on Consulate, gave them a big boost that it was going to be tough for Emergence to tackle, but especially towards those later rounds, that last round in particular being, you know, the sore thumb that is sticking out in terms of mistakes made and almost bringing it to overtime. It was just those small mistakes that were enough to create room for Wichita Wolves to get a W in their column, and one that they sorely needed.
Fair enough. But we do have potentially two other maps to see. The next map's going to be Oregon as well, and I know what people think. Oregon isn't really it's not the most entertaining map at times, but we did see some interesting operators, at least in Consulate side. We did have the Frost come out from Skins. I asked this to Jay-Z, and I asked this to Stick, and I'm going to ask this to you guys too. Do you think we're going to see crazy operators again like the Warden pick we saw in the last set?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
honestly, like they're crazy because we're stuck gauging it in the, you know, past metrics. But on Oregon, you know, operators like Frost, operators like Warden especially, have started to kind of make their way and find their niche. I wouldn't say their place; they're not commonly brought, but find their small part in the meta currently. Warden on Dining and Kitchen, for example. Frost, just, you know, I'm not confident to give a specific site selection, but she's also found some room there. Yes, I do think we're going to see a couple more of those, I guess,
So-
weird.
Let's say then, realistically, we take out Frost, we take out Warden. What's the craziest defender that Wichita Wolves in Emergence could bring out in this matchup?
That's a good question. Attack or defense? At least
Let's
give me
start with
that.
defense.
Start with
I
defense,
said
okay.
defense.
Are we
I said
counting?
defense.
Are we
All right.
counting like Ella Alibi Clash is crazy?
I wouldn't count.
They're bored. I would
Actually-
say Frost and Warden are crazier. So let's take them out too. Like, we need some really
Yo,
like interesting
Cap
picks.
can.
Okay.
Hey, if this were Villa Kitchen, you'd probably be right.
If this were Cafe Kitchen, too. Shout out to
that's-
penguin.alt.
Shout out to our boy. Good luck at invite.
Wow, I just noticed Devil went 3-1 on entry, and Goria didn't have a single entry kill or death. He just didn't have an opening engagement, which for him is pretty miraculous.
Especially because he had a 1.52 rating.
Yeah, and an 8 at the highest cost in the in the match. That's definitely weird. Yeah, craziest operator. I don't know. I can't think of anything other than like Alibi Ella because Shields and Clash because some teams like Clash on Oregon.
Those are
Well, we-
those are my two as well, probably. Like, it's hard to get crazier if you want than like Frost, for example.
I mean,
That's
someone
just
could
'cause
break
she's
the
new.
rules
Yeah.
and play a Rooney.
I mean, yeah, or like they could troll and play Cav,
Oh.
but that's
I don't think either of these teams are going to be trolling.
No.
No.
I mean, I can't wait to see a Rooney. MK14's the best gun in the game, so you know.
well, you know,
No,
No.
no,
You guys are missing out.
no.
But
are we? I don't.
well,
think
you know
so.
what? You know what, Wednesday? You can't miss out on Season 5 of SCS. If you're watching right now and you haven't played in SCS yet, and you have a team, well, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, it's not too late to sign up. You can always go on scs.com and go for the open qualifiers for Season 5. Look there, February 3rd. You have some time, not a lot of time at this point to go and sign up, but you still have some. If you have a team, you think you could beat out the likes of Wichita and Emergence, you might as well go and try for it. It's going to be a Swiss system, 9 best of ones. That means 3 a day from the 3rd to the 5th. And there's going to be unlimited teams, but only the top 10 are going to advance forwards into the second qualifier. But even then, you have open qualifier number 2. All those teams in the 2 qualifiers move on to the closed qualifiers from the 17th and 18th. From there, 22 teams are going to be narrowed down from, well, infinity. And only the top 10 from there are going to move on to the actual season of Season 5 like you see here. So, if you think you can beat out Wichita Wolves, and if you think you can beat out the likes of Emergence, well, why not give it a shot? You might have a chance to be casted by Carter and Harrison as well.
Woo!
My actual name. That's really cool. Awesome.
All right, Wednesday.
Also, yo, shout out to Devin Crater Hoot. It's because
Oh,
I
that
love
guy.
him a lot.
Oh,
Nah.
we're going on that route.
Wow.
We gotta shout out Ties too, one of the best observers
That's
ever.
true.
Of course,
Wait, is Ty
Rigel's
in
being
chat?
I don't think so, but Rigel also a fantastic observer right now as well.
We can also shout out Creepery63 using one of his 3 jokes
Nah,
in chat, bringing out the
fuck
Lynx
that
neck.
guy. Boo, Ryan.
my
thumbs
bad.
down emoji.
That's a thumbs down from 2 of the 3 desks. So
His,
What about you,
jokes are
Max?
pretty fluid. His jokes are really fluid. They're almost like kind of liquidy. Well, what about me?
I'm not
Oh.
I'm not dignifying that much.
All right. But hey, guess what though? You know what you can dignify with a response? Oregon coming up in only
No.
a few seconds. No.
We can't do that now. It's Oregon. It's
Oh.
Oregon. It's Snorrigan. It's I don't want to cast
Yeah.
this anymore again. So.
Yeah, I gotta go take a walk and just like breathe heavily before I can. So.
That's okay. Maybe we'll be lucky and see maybe 1 or maybe even 2 rounds of some freezer play.
Maybe.
Maybe.
freezer pushes are cool. So when a team does it right,
Oh.
when a team
I
does
see
it
what you did there.
wrong, it's disgusting. But I don't know.
Well.
Oregon, I feel like Oregon's at least a little bit better with the new meta. Oh, bye Max. All right,
Bye.
he's dead now. I feel like Oregon at least like with
Ah
this.
crap! Look at our names.
All right, I'm Friday, Saturday now. I feel like Oregon, at least with the new meta, is like a little bit better because it's like swing or be swung. But normally it moves pretty slowly, slow as molasses, a snail.
I dated a girl named
Magma.
Molasses.
What the fuck?
I didn't. I made that up.
Okay, I was gonna say what kind of like sadist names their child Molasses? Like
I mean, my
they're just
parents-
begging to be.
My mom
called
thought about naming me
slow.
Wednesday, so I guess a similar variety.
I mean, you can't call someone like you can't make fun of someone for being slow. Like if your name is Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Also, it's a Thatcher Jackal ban again,
Cool.
and they just banned Jackal on Oregon.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Want to try and wrap your head around that one, chat.
No.
'Cause I can't.
On to the defender bans. Mira?
All right, my bad. That's on me.
Is it
I mean,
Mira?
yeah, probably some.
No, it's Clash. Okay.
Clash. I mean,
Who on Wichita
Clash is
Wolves
annoying.
plays Clash? Anarchy?
I would think so. Anarchy seems like the kind of
I
dude
think
to
it
play
was-
Clash, but
I think it was either Anarchy or I think Faded. One of those two guys. Wamai is the other band. Of course, that makes a whole lot of sense. And bands are pretty damn default.
especially for this series,
As I
'cause they
said,
were.
Oregon, especially with these bands, probably gonna move pretty slow. Slow
Woo!
as magma or
Let's
lava.
go. Hey, you know what though? Sure, they banned Jackal, and you and I are kind of like, that's weird. But on the bright side, all 4 hard breachers,
yeah.
exactly.
Maverick
and
and
Maverick,
Ace.
like,
Oh, we've got Mira up though.
yeah,
Oh,
but
never mind. Mute.
LFG.
Mute
I'd rather
and
have him
Vigil.
mute.
All right, they're Roman. Probably, I would imagine.
Tyrant's on Bandit. Thoughts?
Bandit Trick and Elbow, LFG, with a Maverick up. I don't know why they're playing
Attackers
Bandit
need
with
to
Maverick up.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Maybe he'll
can.
put it
Even-
on the meeting hatch.
Even a Cade would be kind of odd. You know what would have been really funny though? With a Maverick up and a Bandit and Mute as their hard breach denial, they kept the Mira and put it in E-Box.
I don't think that would be funny at all.
I think it would.
All right, so
been
Tyrant,
really
yeah,
funny,
Tyrant is
personally.
just gonna Bandit elbows. They're not gonna play there at all, which makes sense because they don't have a Jaeger. So
They also have a Goya
they do have a Goyo, but they don't
But
have
no
a
smoke.
Jaeger.
as well.
They also don't have a Jaeger.
They also don't have a Jaeger.
So that means you can't deny another projectile, so the attackers can just walk in and be like, oh, Goyo shield, and just, bam. It's done for, and the Volcan shield goes up in flames. It sounds like Volcano. What is Volcan, like, what is the actual, is it Volcano? Is that what the actual, like, translation is? I think it is, yeah.
You also weren't pronouncing it right. It's also Vulcan. The accent's on the
I
A.
just don't care about Spanish.
I
It is
do.
my
I took the
least
language
favorite
for 5 years.
Yo, speaking of volcanoes.
It's your least favorite language when German sounds the way it does.
German is amazing. Are you kidding me? Bro,
You're just...
ich liebe dich. Like, come on, man. I'll let
Bro,
chat. I'll let chat decide what I just said there.
You can all you're one,
I'm gonna
but I'm just saying.
Ich liebe your dich.
French and Spanish sound
All right,
better.
Goria's
Goria
gonna get the
ich
kill
liebe
on a
Tyrant.
tyrant. So down goes Bandit. I mean, at least he put the batteries down, right?
Woo!
Woo!
Bandit!
But that's a C4 gone. That's one of your site players gone, I think. Probably. He was down on site last time I saw him, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume, as Son of Finn also finds Faded, who decided it was a great idea to try and challenge Tower Stairs when there are already 4 attackers there. Ben is going to go ahead and try and open up the stage wall because there is a roamer in meeting and they cannot pressure that hatch without said roamer being gone. As I say, that devil will indeed fall back and he'll decide, hey, you know where Faded died? They'll never expect another one.
I have a feeling they will expect another one, though. Because you're peeking pillars at
Yeah.
Tower Stairs. And what do you know? They expected another one. And now Anarchy is like, guys, I'm going to make a play. And it's a 2v5. And he did not make a play. Skins, the man himself,
Beautiful.
is left in a 1v5. And he's still inside of kitchen. Will not even find one. I honestly was about to talk about him getting that kill. And then he just whiffed all his shots. It's a flawless round for Emergence to start out. So that's something good, at least. If you're Emergence. That was...
So you want to know what happened in that round?
I got sad is what happened.
I'll sum it here. Give me a word count to sum it up.
I'll be, you know, because it was sad, I'm sure for you too. I'll be generous. I'll give you 7. No,
7?
6.
Do I have to use exactly 6 or can I use under 6?
I mean, you can use under 6.
They walked into him.
They walked in. Yeah, that's 5.
Yep, that's my summary for that round. Wichita just walked into him. They said, hey, there's the attackers. Let's get them. And they, spoiler,
They didn't get him.
did not get them. In fact, they were the ones who got instead of getting the attackers. The attackers got the getters who were supposed to get, but instead the getters got. So.
And now, to solve their issue, Devil has picked Ella.
I told you we were going to see her. Shield. She has the shield.
She also
And
has
she's
the
got
FO12.
the FO12. Alright, he's going to go full aces.fnc mode.
That's a Paris Major reference right there.
That is indeed a callback.
Ha! I understood that reference.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb.
I did. I understand. We also will see a castle. Not off. I feel like I don't see a castle on Dorm front off.
Yeah, it's normally Castle plays
Yeah.
upstairs when it's like one of the 2 middle floor sites. Or like you play Castle for a meeting round. Not usually like on a dorm's defense. At least when we see Castle on a dorm's defense, it's usually to facilitate like a kitchen roam or something.
Yeah, an extension of some sorts. We don't just see him like use all his castles on the site, like closet door, for example.
Yeah, it's
Which I
definitely
mean-
interesting, I guess.
guess
I
they
mean,
have
if they
have
just
the-
start hammering at the door, someone below could just nitro him, I guess.
Well, they also have the shield at the doorway to master bedroom from Wolf, so they could just be waiting to peek it. I want to be honest with you. I'm not entirely sold on this one yet, but I mean, their main problem last time was just walking into the attacking team's angles and losing their gunfight. So if they at the very least start to play more conservatively, that's a win in my book and already a great improvement, and we can focus on the strats later.
That is true. Skins, he'll get the first kill of this round as he fells moved and...
Huh.
Devil! What are you doing?
Getting killed is what he was doing.
Why? He was just barricading the window.
I assume the bullets were probably why he died.
Alright, so, Devil, after effectively throwing his life away, that is an FPLC moment if I've ever seen one. What the hell is this? Ben just
Can we do over this round?
It has taken... all right. If you and Ace just hit the barricade, it would have taken less time and less utility. But I guess
Also,
they're
if-
like, hey,
also,
we don't
he had
need
just-
the gas. Whatever.
If he had just done what he did at the end and stood next to it and like carved it patiently, he would have been fine.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit curious. Even more curious is why Faded was exposed to the big window, but nevertheless, he will be dead. Now Skins is like, hey, I'm in small tower. I'm gonna make a play. But instead, he'll just hit the window and use it as a bit of a distraction. Evil Cloud's now waiting and watching. He knows there's someone small tower, and he's very careful of his backside, but as he swings back towards the window, Anarchy takes his head off. We're back to a 3v3, even man count, but as I say that, Tyrant finds Son of Finn. Goria can't find the refrag as the Jaeger just pushes through the breach. He finds Goria. It's just Ben inside of Attic, and Tyrant finds a third. Wichita Wolves take round number 2 after a huge play by the Jaeger.
So the first round, Wichita Wolves were like, hey, let's get him. But then they got. This time, they were like, hey, let's go get him. And for the most part, they actually got him that time. Mainly Tyrant on the Jaeger, getting those 3 big kills to end out the round. You also had Skins doing a little bit of work on the roam, not just getting the opening pick, but also just kind of forcing the attackers to be wary, especially as you saw with Evil Clouds looking over towards that small tower window when it got broke. So if Wichita Wolves' strategy was to take gunfights, that round was much more successful in employment of that strategy the first go-around. Fearing how well that strategy might go on basement a second time, they will now go to meeting hall and kitchen, where I have a feeling a lot of their strategy is going to revolve around peeking and trying to get them. Yeah.
Indeed. And also, someone in chat was correct. Ich liebe dich is German for I love you.
I knew that.
Now if I say Ich liebe Schwanz.
What are our names now?
I don't.
Now, I'm Wednesday, Thursday, you're Friday, Saturday, and then I'm Cougar, and you're Eagle.
Okay.
You
But now, listen.
stand for freedom.
10 seconds remaining.
I stand for an older woman trying to get younger men.
Like in The Bachelor. Sorry, not The Bachelor.
Or-
The Graduate.
Or,
Meant to say The Graduate.
Keg said it before I could, or in the hit show Cougar Town.
True. Also,
Favorite.
whoever
Favorite.
in chat. Wait,
By
who
the way-
was it in chat? Hold on, wait.
No, hold on, I gotta ask
Oh,
this.
it was
If
Gino Lad. You've already translated Ich liebe dich correctly. How about Ich liebe Schwanz?
Oh.
How about that one?
Alright, I know what that one is.
No, you don't.
So, in chat, if I want you to guess, in a popular
Schwanz.
comedy TV show, potentially about a community college, there's a character whose favorite show is Cougar Town. Name me that character. You won't get anything, but you will get my my enjoyment. No Keg, it was not that guy.
I know who it was.
It is me. You do?
It was.
Don't say it.
It was Fabian Halston.
Fabian Halston was not, unfortunately, on community. Keg, yes, it is. It is. It is also a meeting hall defense. You were wondering why we were talking about community for a couple minutes. Not much has happened. They have opened attic wall, though. Oh, wait, no, they
It's
haven't.
because in
that's just
community
the box.
there are
That's just
meetings.
the box on the pallets.
And it's a
moved.
meeting defense. Why
Or
is
Devil,
Devil?
to me,
Why
why
did
is
he
he there?
push the double door?
You have 2 ADSs around the corner. I hate it here.
Curious. And now there's no one to play. All right, and Anarchy is
Alright,
just peeking it. So
uh-huh.
Moved is gonna get a second kill. Tyrant is like, hey, what if I do it too? And he will almost lose the fight to, I believe, Evil Clouds. And Tyrant will say, what if I do it? Want to see me do it again? And he'll eat a nade to the
Located
face.
by attackers.
2 versus 5. It's Skins and Faded. The 2 fraggers last alive. As Skins is able to come up from the tower stairs, he'll find one, but fall to Move for Move's 3rd kill. The Vigil will be next on the docket. He'll find one, but he swings for more, and Goria collects him. Emergence take round number 3, as so far has been the common theme through this match. Wichita Wolves just kind of walked at him.
You know what I just realized? Shout out to Drew Spark in chat for making the poignant observation. Remember when Ben was on the Maverick, like creating an MC Escher painting on that castle barricade?
Yes.
And we were like, bro, why don't you just melee it? You and I forgot. They also had a sledge.
They did have a sledge and a Zofia with breaching charges.
moving on. Just wanted to. I just saw Drew say that in chat, and I was like, you know, that's a good point.
Shout out to Drew Spark. He's LFT.
Drew, I was about to say Drew Spark, LFT, by the way.
My
What?
God,
Okay.
that's Drew Sparks music.
Attackers need
I
to
don't
locate
actually
and
remember
defuse
what the
bomb.
voice was like that does that, but it just felt right.
I don't even know what you were referencing.
It was
To be
I
honest.
don't know. Drew sent me a video. It was like a wrestling guy. I don't know. I don't remember. I just felt like making the bit.
Attackers have discovered the location
So
of the
Wichita
bomb.
Wolves
Also,
were like, "Hey, they're in tower. Let's get him." And they didn't get him.
They didn't get him.
That so
we are now-
far has
we-
been the summary of all 3 rounds. They have
We are
walked
now
at
at
them,
a-
and they have either gotten them or not gotten them.
We're at a 1-for-3 got him ratio.
Right now, we're not even analog. We're digital.
5 seconds to insertion.
It's they either get them or they don't. 1 or 0. And
Binary.
that decides the outcome.
Objective is
Yep,
to defuse
binary.
the bomb.
Not trinary, or quadrinary, or nuanced in any fashion. It
Binary.
is either yes or no.
No, none
Also-
of that quantum computing stuff where you can have
Devil?
0, 1, or 1, 0, or paired bits. None of that.
Bro said the word quantum, my brain broke. So I'm gonna
Quantum
pretend he
computing.
didn't
So
say
quantum
that.
computing involves dots where,
Alright,
like,
here we go.
with the binary, instead of just 0s or 1s, they're actually because of what is it? Quantum positioning, I think. So like two things can exist in the same space. They're paired. So there's 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, and 1, 0.
All right.
And that's just like that is the one sentence, like beyond layman's terms for quantum computing and processing.
I mean, that is beyond layman's. I mean, you used the first 2 numbers. Also, you said you were going to bring up lava. When are you going to do that?
When I find a good point, and I was going to, and then I got distracted by quantum computing.
All right, my bad. Well, Devil will send
Wow.
out a C4, and it will get moved. I honestly was not sure if that would be able to reach, but it
Moved,
was.
didn't move.
He did not move, and neither did Evil Clouds, or actually he moved into the crosshairs of Devil. 2-3-4, clearly not losing his gunfights on that one. So far, the extension has worked fairly well. But now Tyrant, who is at least one aspect of the realm, much further beyond the site, will fall to Goria. Still a man advantage in the favor of Wichita Wolves, and that mirror setup up top is still intact. I just now noticed, Devil has a mirror window in his pocket.
Listen, he's playing for the. He's gonna whip it out. Like someone's gonna
Why-
peek him, and he's gonna whip out the mirror window.
What if the
like,
extension
"Wah!"
didn't work? What if the extension didn't work and you couldn't rotate back?
Trust.
You would just have lost a mirror window.
Nah. Trust.
He at least put it down now, so.
He did. I wonder where he put it. What if it was in E-box?
Dude, if it's an E-box, I'm leaving the cast. I'm just taking off my headphones.
It's
It's not.
that is a little bit odd. But
I'm just glad.
It's
just
better
not
than
E-box, and that's
in
what matters.
E-box. Yeah, that's the most important thing. There's also only 50 seconds left, and now Sonafin and Goria are deciding to, hey, let's push Freezer. Goria, never mind. He's gonna say, screw that, as Sonafin is now left alone, challenging a Banshee just right next to him. And he's not going to dispatch of. Skins and Anarchy are lying in wait as Ben now just peeks the stairs and down goes Devil. All right. Good opening sight kill, I guess, for the attackers, but there's still 3 more for them to deal with as Goria, he's playing for a flank by E-box. This could definitely work out if he times it correctly. Anarchy takes out Ben, and that's going to be the call for Goria. He takes out one and finds the back of another. It's a triple kill for the Zofia as Son of Finn starts to plant. It's Skins, the Vigil. 1 versus 2, 5 seconds left. Goria, he rings out some shots, some pre-fires. Now Skins knows where he is, but the plant goes down, and he doesn't see the barrel. Son of Finn swings around, coming off of the plant, finds the final frag, and Emergence are able to steal away round number 4.
Well, the extension was looking fairly solid, all things considered, and you could put a lot of that into the column of Devil, doing very well on that meeting mirror window with the C4 and his gun, respectively. And sure, you lost your castle, you lost Tyrant at one point, but still a fair bit of time wasted, 2 kills in your favor, and you managed to even get the mirror window that you had in your pocket up. That's a fairly successful roam, all things considered. But what did Emergence do? They were like, guys, and you might know this one if you've been paying attention. They said, let's go get him. And they did. And they did. Mainly Goria on that very late flank, very late hatch drop that was called at just the right.
Yeah,
got
beautiful flank. Excellent stuff from Goria.
That was a chef's kiss play right there.
Indeed.
Oh, you
This
know,
game is it hasn't been as slow as I thought it would be.
you know what I just realized?
What?
You ever wonder why we're here?
5 seconds left.
I mean, like,
Why are we here?
are we the result of some cosmic coincidence? Or is there a god out there watching over everything? Much
don't
like
know,
Devil
man.
is watching over the spawn right now.
But it keeps me up at night.
No, man, why are we in this boxed canyon?
Bomb
Oh.
located by attackers.
On Oregon.
That lemur. It's Earthman.
No, you idiot.
Oh. Of course. My cabbages! Anyway, alright.
Dude, we're just gonna be making Avatar
we went down
references.
a weird hole there. Devil did not unfortunately get the spawn peek inside of armor. He also didn't get any kills outside main door, but honestly, nobody challenging that angle. And with how Wichita Wolves haven't exactly been winning their gunfights so far, probably for the best that that angle remained unchallenged. He'll continue to roam on top of armory stairs. Bit of a risky position, all things considered. Not a lot of cover and limited positions he could get pinched from. So rotating back, especially now that he's lost some HP and we've reached that 2-minute reigning mark, probably a good idea. Skins also unfortunately not able to rotate. Goria takes his head off, and that's the man advantage in the opening pick in the favor of Emergence.
Good job, Goria. You know, we commented on Goria not being in a lot of opening engagements in the last map, and he said, shut up. And has now gotten, he's now 2-0 on the entry. Has not died first once, and is 8-1 in 4 rounds. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a 2.0 KPR. Excellently done. And he's still got a chance for more. For now, he'll also sit at a 0.25 DPR. That is deaths per round. It's very good. He's only died in a quarter round. Devil is still holding on to armory. He sees the gun barrel of the Nomad for just a moment and is going to decide to swing on through. His Son of Finn finds the kill on a Tyrant, and the smoke challenges that window and wins. I did not expect Faded to win that fight, as Devil takes a little bit of damage, as does Goria, but Devil will just remain inside of armory for the time being. He's wasting a decent bit of the attacker's time, but as he swings out, Goria will find his second kill. Down goes your armory player, but Fade is there with a refrag despite the low HP. He's traded up by Son of Finn, and it's just Anarchy, the castle, in a 1 versus 3. Plenty of time for Emergence to play with. There's one below. Anarchy seems aware he can watch bottom white, but he's got to be worried about those players inside of Trophy. Goria holding the long angle. They trade a little bit of damage, but Goria is certainly worse for wear. The UMP, not necessarily the weapon you want in this situation, so Anarchy's definitely going to have to land his shots. He'll miss the ones on the Nomad. He's kind of locked in kids right now because of that position on the white stairs, and he repeats right to his death. Emergence take round number 5. They now lead 4-1 on their attack.
They've also now won every single bomb site so far. They did drop the very first Dorm's attack, but now making it up in that second time. Every single bomb site tried out by Wichita Wolves have been lost at least one time. We're on Consulate. The guns seem to be much more alive on the side of Wichita, albeit it did take them switching to the attack for that to truly be the case. They seem to have died down on the defense, and you could just say, hey, maybe Wichita, oddly enough, maybe they're just an attacker-sided team either today or in general. But at the same time, this is also Oregon. It's Oregon defense. You should, at the very least, if you're going to lose these, make them close. Make Emergence have to fight tooth and nail for every single inch. But in quite a few, these haven't even looked close. And once again, this is on Oregon defense. Now the final site you have to go to is Meeting Hall and Kitchen. It's not looking great. It's not looking great for Wichita in this final round.
It's rough for Wichita Wolves right now.
It is.
Even if they win their next round and make it 4-2, if they somehow miraculously don't just walk at them and all die,
Dude, that'd be really cool.
it would be really cool. But a 4-2 split being down after your defense of Oregon, not a good look.
5 seconds left before insertion.
In fact, I would say that's probably the opposite of a good
Attacker's
look.
objective is to defuse the bomb.
You know what that is?
I was gonna say, is that a bad look?
No,
Oh,
it's a not good look.
my bad.
No, it's you're not good. Got him.
I don't know why. That's funny. You know what's not gonna be funny though?
Wichita Wolves walk into him again.
Dude, if they do that, that would be not good, as the kids say, I do believe. You do have Devil on the Mira, and this worked fairly well last time. I'll be honest with you. Opening that wall, probably not the play. But, I mean, hey, maybe it'll work out. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. It's just that wall being open to the entirety, or that outside door. I don't know. Just not a fan of the idea, but then again, if Devil's able to get a solid pre-fire onto Moved, who's pushing that angle, it'll be a solid play. Overall, that'll get them the man advantage, but instead it's Moved getting a kill onto Tyrant. So that angle being opened by the mirror window, already not paying off too well.
Where the hell was Tyrant?
No idea. Not a clue.
Well,
probably big tower.
Moved was on tower. Did he try to come up like tower stairs? All right. Oh no, maybe was it over there? Garage door?
The old
Yes, it
garage
was.
peek.
That is unfortunate for Tyrant. It's a 5 versus 4 already, though there is a minute and a half, and Devil is still playing this mirror window. Ben is also going to take a pretty significant chunk of damage. He's down to almost half HP. C4 goes out from Devil, I believe, and disappeared into thin air. I don't know where it went. Devil will fall off his mirror window, no longer content to keep peeking that. It's certainly a dangerous position for him to play, like you said, with this giant wall open and Evil Cloud being able to just see behind it. He'll take a long-range engagement against one of the players inside of tower, and he's pretty much pinned to the left side of meeting. He's got support from at least the castle all the way in the back, Anarchy challenging the long angle, but Ben and Goria are holding skins on this top floor, and they even start to move in because they have two people. Goria can cover back Attic while Ben actually goes to work on the floor and maybe even the hatch. Veda's position downstairs will finally be known as he comes up and flanks Move, but it's at the cost of two players. Skins and Devil both go down to Goria, and it's just Faded and Anarchy. The Vigil on 1 HP, and yet again, and up. Not the position you want to be in. In fact, they'll actually smoke off the tower stairs as Evil Cloud finds Faded anyway. It's just Anarchy. Plant going down by Son of Finn. Nade goes out, just misses him. The plant is denied, but there's still 20 seconds left, and he can't find anyone else. Ben shuts him down, and Emergence take a 5-1 attacking half on Oregon.
This is,
Yeah.
Huh.
Not looking good for the Wolves right now.
Yeah. I mean, so on Consulate, Wichita Wolves, they come alive on their attacking half. Win basement 3 times, I believe. Yeah, 3 times on their attacking half it was gone to, and 3 times they won it. Consulate, very different map than Oregon. Very different map, whether it's last meta or this meta. Very different play styles. One is much less structured, the other much more structured. That being the one we're on now. Sure, you have all hard breachers up. That's a big factor in the column of the attack. That Maverick, that Ace, that Hibana, whatever you want. Being on the board is huge for their success. Same time, also Oregon. A map where on the attacking side, you cannot exploit and create chaos nearly to the same degree as you can on Consulate. And that's where Wichita thrived. Without that element, and again, it being a 5-1 half with Emergence going on to the defense, to go back to the point, start at the beginning, it's not looking good. It is not looking good.
10 seconds remaining.
That being said, Moved is also on Bandit when there's a Maverick up. So,
5 seconds to go.
Goria is 11-1.
Goria is
Basically,
built different.
if Goria lives, Emergence win the round. That's kind of
Yeah,
what I'm
that's how it's been
gathering.
so far.
Yeah. He's just absolutely tearing it up, and there is close to nothing that Wichita Wolves can do about him and the rest of his team right now. I mean, even then, the most deaths you have on your team is 4. We have played 6 rounds. That's pretty tremendous. The fact that your entire team has a pretty damn good survivability, whereas Wichita Wolves have all died at least 5 times out of the 6 rounds. So, Wichita Wolves, hopefully they have something in their back pocket for this attack. They'll start on dorms. Pretty default so far, taking into Master. They've got the Hibana there. They'll start taking Attic as well. But what is not default is the fact that this wall in Attic is opened, allowing for Evil Clouds to just start peeking into Trophy, and his first victim will be Tyrant.
That's your entry so far on the attack, and by entry I just mean one of the first people making their way into the building. Now you have Skins and Faded right behind him, or you have Master better control. That is something, but with Evil Clouds pressuring through that wall. What?
That was a nice circle by Devil.
That was a nice circle. That was very clean.
Well, it's about the little
None of
victories at this point.
It is about the little victories. In terms of main count, okay, that circle is really good, actually. Wow, that's like really symmetrical. Anyway, I got distracted by it. There's a Banshee inside of Attic, so Devil's presence will be notified to the defense. And going back to Evil Clouds as well, though he's in a bit of a rough position now that this Attic wall has been opened, the other one. Skins can push in a bit more freely, but still, the fact that they know the Jaeger's there, and if that Attic presence gets repelled, this is still a risky spot no matter what. Evil Clouds trading in the Attic push itself require a lot of risks to be taken. Devil goes in, that's the Maverick down. Anarchy will get the refrag, Diffuser picked back up, so it could be worse, but still, you're in a 3v4 and your Attic push is basically not working out, especially now with you on low HP. This is a rough spot to be in. Faded falls as well. Ben riddles his body with bullets as it clatters to the ground. Now Skins and Anarchy left in a 2v4, separated a world away. Anarchy will pick up Goria, try and stop the bleeding, but Skins hasn't found much room for himself to work, and if he wants to try to win this round for his team, he certainly needs to do so and not force Anarchy, only on 25 HP with the Diffuser, to do all the work. Not saying it's easy. That much is to be certain. You have Son of Finn playing close with that shotgun, and now the Anarchy's fallen. It's all left up to you. 15 seconds left. Can't have the Diffuser, and Ben and the rest of the team have the better angle. Emergence pick up that one. They move to match point. I have a feeling that map 3 is going to be the final course of the night.
Yeah, it's certainly on the horizon, as unfortunately the Hibana X Kairos were actually botched on that wall. They couldn't move through it because of a tiny slit of metal. And Emergence start with a kill, of course. Zofia goes down early. Now, the Attic push looks like it's going to bear fruit, but the fact that Evil Clouds was able to trade himself out, finding 2 kills in the round before he's finally done for, without any other deaths on the side of Emergence, was just the killer. They couldn't get through the games wall. Another thing compounded onto that just really did not help Wichita Wolves at all. I mean, they didn't have an avenue into the site. They had like one guy in Attic, and that was pretty much it. The other 2 died struggling against the indestructible section of that game's wall that you could barely even see. So, a series of unfortunate events to be sure for Wichita Wolves, but now it's 6-1 for Emergence. In order to lose this map, they would need to throw away 5 in a row and then lose in Infinite OT. I'm not gonna lie, with how this game is going, I really don't see that happen.
Yeah. Probably correct.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
They looked hot on Consulate, and they have significantly cooler.
Hey. My good friend. Croaky. Guess what they're doing?
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Guess what? Guess what Goria just did?
What?
You want to take a... Rigel, if you can hear me. Zoom in on E-Box real quick.
Cool. It's the E-Box
Have
mirror.
E-Box mirror. If you don't know, Crow and I have a love-hate relationship with the E-Box mirror. It's actually mostly hate.
Wait, what the fuck is Croaky, man?
It's something chat has been saying, so I decided to say it. So the issue with the E-Box mirror...
Why?
Especially when Maverick is on the board, and you're also not running an extension inside of meeting, is that hatch is completely free. And once you open that hatch, that mirror is pretty much useless. So, you've essentially wasted a mirror, putting it on that E-Box one, or E-Box panel.
Hey, I mean, but you got an angle into bunker now.
That's true. Wait, hold on, Rigel. Can we also see how many people are pushing bunker? It's no one. No one's pushing
Well,
bunker.
they're droning it. They got 2 people outside.
Oh, sorry.
As
sorry.
the
They
mirror
got-
window goes down.
My bad. My bad, guys.
The mirror window is now open, and now Moved has to worry about two different angles. Unfortunately, Faded is not currently peeking it, as Move takes a little bit more damage. He'll fall off. He knows that Pillars is no longer for him, as Goria as well just eats a little bit of a nade. Devil is there to follow through as he just kind of drops the hatch, but his back is exposed to the Jaeger, but the Jaeger loses the fight to Tyrant. That was definitely some odd timing there on both players, both Devil and Move, but I mean, Devil's still alive, so more power to him. Skins as well, another kill. Ben is dead, but Goria and Evil Clouds tack on for one apiece, and we're back to even man count. However, big thing is that Elbow is not reinforced, but even worse is that the Malusi has control of E-Box Hatch. Now you need to dislodge her if you're the attackers. It looks like that player is going to be the Nomad of Anarchy, but he doesn't really have a lot of info to work with, judging by the way he's playing this. C4 goes out. It will miss as he tries to pop flash in. He spots Goria's head for a second on the repeat, does not find anything, but it's a 2-on-1 engagement as Devil has rotated upstairs. Now the Hatch control is back in the favor of the attack, and they know Goria and Son of Finn are both down on the site, or at least around it. Goria back over towards box, and Son of Finn inside of Freezer, cutting off where the default plant spot normally is. You've got Faded inside of Elbow to stop him, though, from denying that. Just sitting inside of a Banshee is Devil, and Anarchy's angle works out on Goria. The C4 toss. That wouldn't have even found anyone if it were successful, but Faded, there's the crossfire being held. He'll get the kill, and Wichita Wolves will finally stop the bleeding.
I wouldn't say they've stopped the bleeding. They've certainly, at the very least, stopped the flow of it.
They've started to
Just-
clot it. The platelets have
yes.
started to converge.
Bandages have
aggregate.
started to be applied. That is true.
The plasma
think-
is starting to reconsolidate itself.
And in terms of reconsolidation, the consolidation of Wichita Wolves to deny the retaking of meeting by the Malusi that previous round of Evil Clouds was one of the big factors that ended up allowing them to get that round win. Because remember, they had a 5v3 advantage, but then quickly, in the blink of an eye, it was regained by Emergence, which just goes to show their prowess so far in this series, being able to, before Wichita can even react, really. But, pause. Pokimane is on the screen. Moment of silence.
Okay.
So denying that bit of map control,
Doing it
And-
again.
albeit very closely, taking out the Malusi was huge. And that at that point, the angles that Wichita Wolves had set up, you had one a pillar, one getting the plant down, or one E-box pillar, and then Faded specifically inside of Elbow, since that wall remained unreinforced. That's pretty much the dream position and everything you need in getting that plant down. That's all the necessary angles you need covered, and they made great work with it. So, of all the rounds Wichita have won or played so far, that is the one where it was actually the strategy and the play from Wichita overall that got them that round win. Now they just have to do it 4 more times in a row. Which is, of course, no big deal.
Wichita's, of course. I don't know. Because Wichita starts with witch, so I thought I could mess with it.
You don't feel good about yourself now, do you?
No.
I'm not taking it. That's on you.
Yeah.
Remember, it's like iconic on the invite call. It's like, yo, give me the mic. What you mean you're running an E-box Mira? Oh my god,
All
they're
right,
doing
we're
it
not
again.
bringing the bio
They're
impression
doing
back.
it again.
They are doing it again. They have the E-box mirror. They've got the one on the single
Hey,
panel.
is there an extension upstairs?
Nope. They're breaching meeting hatch. So you know what comes next? The E-box mirror is gonna get destroyed. They haven't destroyed it yet.
It's going to get
Oh,
destroyed.
I think Devil's doing it. There we
got
go.
destroyed.
Mirror window secured. So Son of Finn and Moved will still try to duo inside a pillar for as long as they can, but now, I mean, you've established a crossfire on yourself, but that's not going to stop Goria, who, despite having a shield and 2 ADSs and barbed wire inside of Elbow, is just going to push out and demolish Faded outside.
There he goes, and you can see moved, free-frying. At least they have an extra angle created by the Mira that is now destroyed, but they'll just kind of sit inside of pillars, try and challenge big tower stairs. It's a risky gunfight, though neither players in that engagement will take damage either way, and Mood will, for the moment, remain alive, and he probably will be pushed out. Now the stuns are coming. Oh, he actually will be finished off by Devil.
Okay.
That's a very successful pinch coming out for the attacking team, and now that Son of Finn has switched to the Mira on single panel, this is a good position. Well, I mean, he did just get smoked out of it a bit, but we're not going to talk about that. He also peeks out, get a kill onto Skins. That's good. Goria has elbow control in his hands. That angle being opened was one of the key factors that they won last. Devil, are you okay?
What was the plan?
I guess now Anarchy got Evil Clouds. This round is already chalked. But Tyrant pushes in, gets a kill of his own, trying to get a second. He falls. The pistol switch. Not in the cards. And now Anarchy, the best himself, the NCSU man, as CDAPs would like to call him, has to get 2 final kills and or get the plant down. No C4s, no gas canisters on the side of the defense, but they have the crossfire set up. That in many cases is all you need. He'll peek out, swing freezer, and not able to find the kill. With only 8 seconds left, he's in a rough spot, and a spot that results in Goria getting that last one and getting Emergence. A round win. Map 3 is in the cards.
I just don't understand what that was.
What do you mean? He had to get the single panel. He had to get it.
Why was there no one covering him? Like, I'm not debating, like, yeah, that was probably the play, but not when you're alone. And, like, you're just sitting there maving with no cover. I was curious, to say the least. Goria outdid himself. Instead of going 14-7 like map 1, he went 14-3. Only dying once in the rounds that they won. The other deaths, of course, coming in the losses. So, the shining star so far for Emergence, of course, being him, though we can't discount everyone else doing their jobs pretty much to a T, because otherwise they wouldn't have won as dominantly as they did. Wichita Wolves, it's back to the drawing board, I guess. Hi, Max.
Hi, we came so far yet so close in map number 1 when it came to Wichita Wolves in that verdict, but you know, I kind of feel like we backtracked a little bit now in that second matchup. But you know, there are definitely a bunch of things I feel like we should talk about. I mean, first of all, the Miras. What was up with the E-Box Mira?
You know,
I mean, hey, the second time
they won.
It worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I would say it worked, but they won the round.
They did win the round.
So Max, what's up with the Miras? A good question.
Yes.
I mean, the Miras on the side of Emergence. I mean, bro, do you even call that single panel mirror? Did they win? I mean, he knew they were Maverick tricking, so like, I guess it worked. But at the same time, a lot of that was just a failure of the attacking team to, you know, cover the Maverick doing his job. So that's unfortunate. But then on the side of Wichita Wolves, they also brought out the mirror a couple times. No E-Box mirror. It was mainly extensions up inside of meeting that we saw it. And one time it worked out. Devil got 2 kills. And the other time it didn't work out. So overall, if I were to rate the mirror play on both sides, it was 50-50, hit or miss.
Yeah, that's agreeable.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I thought you were going to rank that a lot lower, given how you guys sounded during the cast, but there were some other interesting parts, too, that we saw. One thing that I know Crow got very excited about was the final Maverick play down in the base at the very end of the final round.
Excited is a word for it.
I don't
Excited
get
is
it.
certainly a word for it.
I really just don't get it. Wow, 1.97.
Hey, he's on the entry board this time. No?
Yeah, he
3-0.
went 3-0. Perfect.
Absolutely crazy. And he was the mirror, too. That was interesting. I noted as well that, like, you know, the mirror setups, where a lot of them were Goria.
Yeah, I mean, that last one was Son of Finn, but again, how much of that is really the mirror setup? That's beside the point, though. We've already beat that horse to death. But yeah, Goria clearly showing up, doing his job, and whereas the last time I casted Emergence, it was mainly... Goria was certainly doing his thing, don't get me wrong, but he was not the dominant performer. It was players like Son of Finn who were taking that reins. This is very much Goria doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the team. But that being said, Crow mentioned this earlier, Emergence were all doing their jobs as well. I mean, when you look at the deaths on the board, by the end it was, I believe, like 3, 4, 3 again. But just looking back at the Twitch stream, in 9 rounds of play, that's pretty solid. That shows that a lot of them were doing their jobs and living through it. And after all, He even said this perfectly at the very end. You can't have a victory that dominant if everyone wasn't showing up at least in some way.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I've noticed too, and speaking of dominance, is that Wichita Wolves, they struggled a lot on the defense and in the attack, but primarily that's where they really dominated first too, was the defense. But this time around in Oregon, they didn't really show up at all. What happened to them between map 1 and 2, Crow?
You know, on Consulate, with the exception of a couple rounds, they definitely played it, I think, a lot smarter. I mean, their defense was still a 4-2 loss after the split, down to a 5-1 loss on Oregon. The big difference was on Consulate, their roam would either work or get smoked. And on Oregon, they just walked at the attackers and died. And that's kind of all there was to it. They saw where the attack was coming from, decided to swing, and lost all their fights.
Whether it was the roam, the anchor play, anything in between, they peaked and they got smoked. Except in the 2 rounds that they won.
Yep.
Well, hey, I mean, you know what? On the bright side, maybe we can see somewhere else where people don't just walk in and die. You know where we can find that?
Cafe.
Ooh, maybe. Close, but yes.
I wish.
But not quite yet. It's going to be actually a little bit later than Cafe, though. It's going to be SCS Season 5. So the open qualifiers will be happening later on. Stage 1 will be 12 teams, 2 groups, and a best of 2 every single week. And of course, those 4 teams from each group will advance to Stage 2. And that coveted Stage 2, of course, will be 3 weeks long, 8 teams in a double elimination, a best of 3. So you kind of get the best of all the worlds of competitive Siege. Some people like best of 2s. Not so many people like best of 1s, but we also have the beautiful best of 3s as well. So we get a little bit of all of it. And of course, if your team hasn't signed up and you're a pretty good team, well, what are you doing? You haven't signed up for SCS yet? You might as well go to www.scesports.com and sign up for the open qualifiers on February 3rd. But hey, the big good thing is, there's no limit to the signups for those open qualifiers. Unlimited amounts of people can sign up, but only 10 are going to make it through. So that sounds pretty good to me. And of course, the closed qualifier at the very end are going to be 22 teams, and the 10 of those will advance into Season 5 of SCS. But now, Mr. Wednesday, Croaky Main, you're probably wondering, hold on though.
Hey, if I get called Wednesday, you can handle Croaky Main for a bit, okay? I don't want to hear it.
You're probably wondering who's going to be part of the talent lineup for Season 5 as well.
I know.
Oh, yeah?
I know. Wait, ready? Hold on. There's 10 of us. All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Me,
Yes.
you,
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Wait, should I use real names or like?
I don't know.
Use screen names.
All right. So me, Keglanek, Lynx, Jazzman, Chief, Blue Panda, Seedaps, Cherish, Sticula, and Jay's Wills.
I was gonna say, you better get the last 2. They literally cashed in 3 hours ago.
Listen, shut up.
That's all of them, right? Yo, hey, there they are. Look how professional and
Look
sleek
at 'em.
everybody looks. The pinnacle of Tier 3 casting of Rainbow Six Siege. Absolutely beautiful in every single way. Gonna be your talent for Season 5 of SCS. Everyone's worked hard to get into these positions, and of course, we always look completely perfect like this as well.
Dude, I worked so hard to get here in SCS. It was a constant grind.
Are you sure? Because you're asleep
That's what
right
you look
there.
like now. This is what
I
we
am
really
asleep
look
in
like
there.
behind the scenes.
Yo, you're threatening me with a nail clipper, Carter.
Listen, man,
Yo, that's a nail clipper?
I know you look like the emo kid from Horton Hears a Who, and a nail clipper could probably do a fair bit of damage, but like, I'm not that threatened.
All right, I would pull out the hair comment, but I can't say that on stream.
That is true. You cannot say that.
I literally can't. You've caught me in a position where I cannot retaliate.
And you
Because
know what?
I will get the stream taken down.
You know what? If he cannot retaliate, and he fails to retaliate, I believe that means I have won.
Wow. Also, Max, you look high.
I
He
cannot
looks
confirm
lost.
or deny that.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that's
Seedaps-
generally me.
Seedaps looks happy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we all look normal here, so it's not as interesting. Stick still looks somewhat angry. There we go. Stick looks even angrier there. Seedaps and Jay's Wills are normal, so we don't have to worry about that. Keg looks confused and or inebriated. I, of course, look like that. Bro also is fairly self-explanatory. That's actually Jazz on a normal day, so I don't know how they got those photos mixed up. Cherish played on an Ultimate Frisbee team. Again. Self-explanatory. Blue Panda, not gonna make fun of him. Good guy. And that's
Kiwi.
Chief whenever he sees someone laugh at the M870 ACOG joke.
Well, on the bright side, though, we're not done yet tonight. We still have one more map to go through. Both sets tonight were a best of 3, but it's not going to end here. We have one more map, and actually, fun fact, guys, last season, the semifinals were decided between Wichita Wolves and Emergence on, guess what? On Cafe.
Great.
So, it's a bit of a
LFG.
rematch. Yeah.
And Wichita Wolves won last time.
So, do you think they can do it again?
No.
I don't know.
I mean, Cafe's a bit of a, it's, I'd say it's a bit equal, but yeah, I don't know. I think
We'll
Emergence
find out
might
in a second, Links. Okay, Wednesday. Go, 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 Cougar. Go, 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 Croaky Main.
I'm zooming.
Okay, man.
I'm zooming. I'm getting to the map band. It's a
You
Thatcher
mean the
again.
op bands?
I'm getting to the op bands, and
Good
it's a
one.
Thatcher again.
It is a Thatcher. Woo!
Woo!
I hate British people.
That's. I don't know what to say to that.
That's not racist. I can say that.
I mean, yeah, British people. They're not a
Actually, wait. So
nationality.
and like being, what do they call that? Prejudice, like against someone's country of origin without being racist. You couldn't really call that nationalist, could you?
No, because that nationalist is like,
Yeah, because
like
that's when
patriotic,
you're
like you're for the country.
yeah, but like patriotic, kind of beyond patriotic.
Yeah. Then you get jingoism, and that's like,
Then you get
That's like-
and then we
that's
start
like next level
Yeah, and we start getting into like ultra nationalist territory,
and it all
which we
starts
learned about
spinning
in
out of
Call
control.
of Duty Modern Warfare.
That is true. We did. Makarov was a Russian ultra nationalist.
So was Hitler. Not Russian though, but was an ultra nationalist.
So was Zakayev, also in Modern Warfare.
You know who wasn't in Modern Warfare?
All of the villains of Modern Warfare were ultra nationalist. You're
So
sensing
were
a
the
theme
so
here.
were the villains of World War II.
So was Ray. I wouldn't say Reagan. Okay, I wouldn't say Reagan was an ultra nationalist, but yeah, he was fairly national.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was a villain of World War II, and I was like, how are you?
He was not a
How are you
villain
connecting this?
of World War II.
You know
Depending
who
on
was?
your side, you could say he was a villain of the Cold War. If you were,
That's true. Do you
in the
remember when
USSR at the time.
Mussolini got beaten and the Italians just hit the switch teams button?
The Italians really did not like Mussolini.
No, he was lynched and beaten in public along with his wife. That's a little history lesson for you guys. And that's why the Italians mid-war
by the way,
decided to switch sides.
I was gonna ask something about something earlier. Bro, since there are infinite teams allowed in the SCS qualifier, give us a fact about Infinity.
It goes on forever.
I hate you. By the way, Emergence banned Pulse and not Jackal, so things have actually developed a little bit. Crow and I were too busy.
You can say,
being
you can say,
irritated.
you can say that a Infinity is a core principle of vertical asymptotes.
That is true.
For as a number gets closer and closer to the, or a number will get closer and closer to the vertical asymptote of a graph as it approaches infinity without ever touching the asymptote, which is why they call it an asymptote. That also has to do with limit theory, which you'll get into in calculus. The fundamental theorem of calculus does have to do with limits, after all. Max just asked me what a limit was, and you guys thought that. I'm not gonna get into the poll.
We don't need to. We don't need
the
to.
quadratic formula.
Yeah.
Glang is an idiot, by the way, who asked on Twitter what the Pythagorean theorem was.
No, he asked what a Pythagorean triple was. That.
I mean, it's
yeah,
they're
I
very
know.
related. I would even go as far to say they might go hand in hand. All right. Anarchy almost lost that, but he recovered it in the end. Unfortunately, you cannot find the second. But hey, that's Goria dead. That is a star player and the top fragger in the lobby from the last match. And he's now on Ash, an arguably scarier operator than Zofia, depending on whose hands it's in. And I would go as far to say that Goria's hands are, one of those. And he trade Castle for Ash? That is a Poggers trade for Wichita Wolves.
All right.
I couldn't think of another adjective, so I just went
You
with
really
poggers.
couldn't think of another
Well, no,
adjective
so
other
poggers,
than poggers?
poggers was the first one that popped into my mind, and I magnetized to it.
You made a medal?
METTLE. I do have a lot of metal.
That is pretty poggers. Not much has happened beyond the initial trade,
Yeah.
though. Tyrant is, I was going to say he's upstairs, but he's not. He was at bottom brown. Now he's all the way back by coat check. No map control for the defense on the second or third floor anymore. That means Evil Clouds, Ben, and anybody holding breach charges or anything that can destroy the floor is free to open up as many holes as they so desire. Devil will get a kill through the floor onto Ace, the hard breacher. Not open. Oh, that actually was not through the floor. That was outside main door. Still the only hard breacher. The diffuser now dropped all the way over there. Means somebody has to walk over and recover it and waste very little of that precious time left over. Tyrant has rotated upstairs, taking some pot shots down onto the attackers inside of mining and train. With the diffuser outside, he honestly doesn't even really have to go for a kill there. He could just waste and fire as many shots, as many as he wants, and he'd probably be fine. Moved will catch Devil off guard, so it's a 3v3, now
Okay.
a 3v2, thanks to the efforts of Faded rotating back in. Skins joins in on the action, and Evil Clouds, left alone, upstairs, is stuck in a 1v3. No more frag grenades, no diffuser, and barely any time left. This isn't a spot that he's going to win. Skins with a double, gets Wichita their first round.
Good off-site presence from Wichita Wolves in this round, markedly better than we saw in Oregon, because they did not walk at them. They got that first pick upstairs. Sure, Anarchy died, but as soon as Anarchy died, the defenders started to rotate back down. Tyrant coming up from Brown pretty late in the round after Devil got his kill, but it wasn't, I mean, he didn't lose his life, and he wasted a whole hell of a lot of time. It was like 30 seconds he spent inside of pillars just dancing around with that Zoph, and by then EMG, they had no time to play with. They were forced down red, right into the waiting arms of Skins, as well as whoever hopped into Bakery through the rotate, and Faded was just there. So, Wichita Wolves, excellent first round. Also, another shout out quick to Tango Mango Down. He'll see this in 3 minutes, but he rated us with a party of 15. We appreciate every single viewer.
Attackers need to locate and
Shout out to
defuse
Tango
bomb.
Mango. Check out CR6 when they're streaming. I mean, collegiate teams, they suck, and I hate casting them. But it's really funny to watch them fuck up a lot.
Though you do say that. A big Matt Squared fan, though.
No,
I like a little bit. You get a little bit of enjoyment out of it.
I like
Got
swearing at them.
See? That is a little bit of enjoyment right there.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Okay.
Bomb
Something.
located by attackers. 5 seconds to go.
It is a rating defense. As it makes sense it would be. Usually the next on the bomb site. Coming out from the defense. Devil also, for about 2.5 milliseconds, was on mirror. Then he was like, that was dumb.
Dude.
I'm going to go to the Valkyrie.
You know what reading has in it?
Books.
You know what books have?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. There's nothing I love more than knowledge.
You saw what Drew said in chat, didn't you?
I did. Shout out Drew Spark. LFT, by the way.
Drew Spark, LFT,
For
analyst.
paying T2 and T1 above.
Lit.
Please do not contact him about your T4 Xbox team. Oh, what?
Okay. Dude, can you imagine if he...
I
if he...
thought he was gonna get misdroned by the Iana.
I've never seen a missed drone with a Yana kill, so that would have been a first, thankfully. Did get spotted. Anarchy is like, you know what? I'm just going to sit inside here, though. Undaunted. We'll get a second drone, and now probably should have rotated. Moved will just take his head clean off through the wall. That's the opening pick going in the favor of Emergence. Do still have a fair bit of top floor pressure. Never mind. That is my bad. There is one more left up top as
Oh wait,
you
he
process
wasn't even up top.
elimination. He was just on the white stairs, but Finn's on white stairs repelled. Faded.
Oh.
Was not looking.
Oh. Tyrant catching glimpses of the ace, but you can't find him just yet. Unfortunately for Tyrant, the Goyo Shield Fire will propagate down those white stairs over the railing, because I guess the railing doesn't count as like an object that stops it. Also, the window's not broken client side, so that's great, as Skins will rotate off of Cocktail. So now, there really is no more top floor presence. He'll go all the way down to the first floor. 3 versus 5 for him and his 2 teammates to work out of. As Emergence now have plenty of time to use their sledge, use any breaching charges they have in the pocket of Zofia, and hopefully for them, avoid those C4s from below. That's one that goes out. And in fact, that's the last one on the defense. So now Evil Clouds can pretty much play safe. Just go ham with that hammer. Yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do that on purpose. And hopefully just evade any of the wayward shots coming from above. You also got Goria on the white stairs, just cutting off the rotate back into dining, just in case any of those defenders get a little bit too homesick and rotate back to the site. Who has diffuser? All right, Son of Finn has diffuser. Where is he?
He's right
There
there.
he is. He's in pillar as Evil Clouds finds Tyrant. I didn't see him drop. And the attackers are pretty much ready as they'll ever be to execute. Devil will get one, but Evil Clouds finds him, and it's just Skins. He'll take down a barricade. Position likely heard by these attackers. He'll pre-fire at nothing. Well, I guess it was at a yellow ping. That's actually a pretty damn good shot onto Ben, but it's still a 1v3 post plant for him to work out of. Not only is there a player inside the site, you also got people outside. You got people upstairs. There's a lot of bodies for him to find, and they are as spread out as can be. Evil Clouds holding that laundry flank. He's prone. There is quite literally no way Skins kills him, and there's the final kill. I called it. Emergence will take round number 2.
Side execute looked a little bit shaky towards the end, but overall, that was an expert clear coming out from Emergence. And a lot of it was mainly due to the defense just not rotating off at exactly the best times. I will say Faded was in a bit of a rough spot. He was on white stairs and just didn't happen to hear the rappel or the window break, and he wasn't looking. That is, you could probably chalk that up maybe to him, but also probably a bit more to timing, as the Jaeger was still alive and well on Cocktail Balcony. So that part I'm a bit iffy on. But Anarchy getting live droned by the Yana and then spotted by another drone and just sitting prone right in front of the Christmas tree was probably not the play. I'll admit,
to be fair, there was a guy on his rappel.
that's what I was going to say. He wasn't exactly in the best of spots, so it was a tough situation, but I still don't think sitting there just prone was the play over on. He ended up getting wallbanged. If he had directly swung the guy on rappel and died, he'd be like, okay, he tried. But he just continued to sit there, and he just got smoked through the wall.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit confusing. And of course, the rest of Wichita Wolves also getting caught out on their various rotates. Skins getting 2 kills, but it was it didn't really matter at that point. Wait, he got 1? He got 1.
Yes.
He got 1 kill.
He got the nice shot, then that was it.
He did get the nice shot. Also, when I talked about the attackers being spread out, I paused and I avoided making the joke I wanted to make. I hope you're proud of it.
You know what's funny? I heard the pause. I wasn't sure if it was just a natural pause or if you got some caught in your throat, or there was a third possibility. I'm like, did he? I didn't think it was. I did hear the pause. And I registered. I just wasn't sure if you were stopping yourself from making a joke or not.
Why would you be proud of me for not?
I'm
making
proud
a
of
joke
you.
about that. It was going to be about spreading and men.
Okay, but now, see, you can't say I stopped myself from making the joke, then make most of the joke.
No. I just talked about the premise of said joke.
That's
anyway,
like half of the joke.
No. Iana is now in, and she's like, is Anarchy hiding here? And he's not.
He's not.
Anarchy is all the way towards Palace. So you still got 2 people upstairs. Luckily, I'm very glad that Anarchy is playing a little bit more passively, so he can help his teammate of Skins. You also got a lot of C4 presence from the defense. You actually have, well, you had 4. Now you have 3 because Anarchy's went somewhere. I don't exactly know where, but it's gone now, and that's all that matters. So, hopefully when the sledge finally comes to inside of bar and starts going to work, you've got enough denial on the defense, as Ben takes a whole hell of a lot of damage, and god damn it, that's not destructible. You're all comp players, you should know that, and they will pretty much waste all but 1 second.
I mean, as a silver lining, Ben did get put to low HP, and now as a result has been down by someone just taking some wayward shots by Pallet. Skins with a couple wayward shots of his own finds a move. That's the opening pick in the favor of Wichita Wolves. But as Crow said, now all C4s are off the board, have been utilized, and they didn't really find much, save for putting Ben to low HP, which he is now picked up. Did find moved with, so it's not entirely lost engagements across the board for Wichita Wolves, and with a minute left, Still a bit of hesitancy as to clearing out that cocktail balcony. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
I thought
no,
it was,
Goria!
I thought it was a pre-placed, but it was Goria with a breach charge, just layering
Wow,
shrapnel
that
into his
was-
teammate.
That was a rude awakening.
Yeah,
from
that
Ben.
is what
he
we
was
call
in the hologram.
Yeah, that's what we call unfortunate.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
truly.
Sonafin got one.
He did. He got faded. And he's also prone
Located by attackers.
by the
This
dining
is-
wall.
He's gonna get a kill off this inning.
He probably will get a kill. Now, unfortunately, he can't get a plant as he doesn't have diffuser, and Tyrant will find evil clouds through the floor, trying to pressure the Valkyrie all the way inside of Trent as he's now inside
How?
of Laundry,
Okay.
and there's the kill, but Anarchy does take out his teammate.
Okay.
Son of Finn, he finds his third.
15
He's all
seconds
alone.
left.
1 versus 2, he'll have to ace in the next 12 seconds if he wants to try and win this round. He's going to try and go for the picks, not for the plant. He's caught reloading now and likely going to be Skins to kill him, but it's actually Devil holding the prone holes inside of Dining as Wichita Wolves take round number 3, and they retake their 2-1.
Whereas last time, the roamers up top were cleared out pretty easily. That time, the roamers up top managed to do quite a bit of work, though the C4s were shoddy, to put it mildly. Still did a
Only
little
Mute
bit
had
of...
one.
I hate you. You just stun locked me. I don't know how you did that. I just I would. You ever have that moment where you go to say something, but your mouth just doesn't want to? I went to go continue what I was
Attackers
talking,
need to locate and
and
defuse the
my mouth
bombs
was just
and
no. I just couldn't bring myself to say words. TLDR. The roamers did their jobs, got a few picks. Also helped that Goria killed his teammate with a breach charge. That probably had a bit of an impact, as that's what caused them to move to a 3v5, and because they moved to a 3v5, Sonafin was like, I have the idea. I'm gonna go prone at the White Stairs dining wall. And that was truly the beginning of the end. Well, the official beginning of the end.
5 seconds remaining. Attackers are moving
Goria
out
also
to
0 and
locate
3,
a
by the
bomb
way.
and defuse it.
Yeah,
Same as Ben, but also it's Goria.
that is very unfortunate for Goria. And that's all I gotta say about that. Kitchen is the new site
Fair
for
enough.
Wichita Wolves. The site that they originally had started things off very well with, thanks to a bakery hold that was really just never pressured by Emergence, and a good roam. Namely by Anarchy, picking Goria off first. The Ash, whose back was turned, Anarchy's position, very misdroned. You've got Skins up there to help him as well. Ben will be the first player to drop, drone moving in from moved, but it will not check Shaiko. Nope, never mind. It's Yellow Ping. They
Oh.
know exactly where he is now, so the drone actually came back around the bar. But it's going to be Skins as the first death, as Anarchy has been able to get away. Unfortunately, though, you lose your Jaeger, and Skins, who has been doing a lot better this map so far, will not have any impact on this round.
Still have Anarchy, who just peeked Red Hatch and killed Moved, because why not, honestly? Oh, there wasn't even the hatch. He was just on the stairs. Anarchy still peeked and still killed him.
Incredible.
The fight probably, that should not have gone his way, but now it did. Got the refrag, and now it's a 4v4. You'll rotate back. Smart play, as being the only roamer when your castle is usually not the kind of move you want to make. And with the Nomad being taken out, flank watch a bit more uncertain overall for the attacking team. And now they have to move into training and mining, start opening up those holes. If the anchor play works again, and if Emergence, which they still have plenty of time to rotate, don't pressure that bakery hold, we'll likely see a repetition of history. Devil will just...
I thought he
How
got that
did
kill.
nobody die there? How... They
The
both
ace was
beat each other.
mid-ace charge throw.
I am
And Devil
amazed
just didn't
nobody
get
died
that
there.
kill.
Been located.
I just can't believe nobody's even below 75 after that engagement. And Finn is just like, nope, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Yeah, that was
I'm going main door.
an awkward engagement, to say the least. You've still got one guy inside of coat check, one inside of VIP. Smoke, the only man in sight, while Devil is left to hold down Bakery. So, again, a very spread out defense, but the positions they're holding are powerful ones. However, Tyrant, flushed out by his own Goyo shield, will fall right into the waiting arms of the player on the restaurant window. That was Son of Finn getting his second kill. Anarchy will move into reception to try and get an aggressive stance on the players by red stairs and the restaurant window, as well as cutting off that white doorway. Here comes the push from Son of Finn, but no, he's droned out at the very last second. Anarchy is pretty much stuck here. He'll run to the
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
to like the river dock
15
spawn.
seconds to go.
He is just outside. Meanwhile, the rest of the attackers are focusing their attention onto the site. Fada gets one of those kills and gasses out Ben, but does Ben have time? No, he doesn't. He's down to finish it off by the nade. 3 seconds left. They have to get this plant out, but Anarchy comes back in and gets a kill. Evil Clouds trades him out, but it's 000 on the clock, and time runs out. Wichita Wolves, in a very peculiar fashion, are able to take round number 4.
So he just ran outside. Like, I saw him at the van, and my brain couldn't process for a bit that that was a defender. I was like, why is Anarchy on Emergence now? Like, why is he sitting out there in their spawn? I was like, oh wait, Anarchy is a defender, and he's in their spawn.
Dude, but time was so low that Emergence couldn't go kill him. So they
And
tried to bum rush site, and
and he
Anarchy
came back.
came back inside and got a kill.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
You also have to give it, Anarchy obviously being the best play of that round just for pure comedy and entertainment value. You also have to give it to Faded on the smoke, getting that initial kill and managing to smoke out Ben, who admirably tried to stick the plant, but unfortunately it was...
Bomb located by a
timing was not in his favor, and he, I think, overestimated his chances or underestimated the time remaining on the defuse or the smoke canister.
Yeah, you
As a
gotta
result,
be...
he goes down. At that point, it's over.
What's the timing? You have to be at least
10
like,
seconds remaining.
what is it, like 3 seconds into the
Something
plant?
like that, like 3 point something.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, because smoke does like, what, it's like 30 damage per tick?
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Yeah, I think.
So
I don't know the
you
exact
have to be
number.
at least like 2 or 3 seconds into the plant to be able to stick it through a gas canister, I think. And Ben, well, he was not. So,
As we soon found out, he
yeah,
was not.
he was down and killed. Both he and Goria still no kills. Now Goria, at least Goria has hit people that his teammates have finished off, so you know he's got assists. But assists are not really what you're looking for. Yes, Max, he did get a breach kill. That doesn't count, because that was his own teammate. So we don't
It does count for Wichita, though.
do that here. That is true. Who do we give that kill? We'll give it to Tyrant. Tyrant needs some help. Tyrant,
Yeah, I was
for all
gonna say.
intents and purposes, Tyrant is now 2 and 3.
Or do we give it to Skins, because since he got introduced, hasn't had the best time. So we should,
That
like,
is
you know,
true.
compensate for the lost effort. You go either way with that.
We'll make a Twitch poll.
I don't have that power, so
Well,
somebody else do
Rigel
that.
does. Oh no, wait, Rigel. Who's on the main? I don't know. Whoever's on the main SCS.
Also, it's a cocktail defense.
does.
Not exactly the best thing on the planet if you're any defensive team. Birds have started to make quick way up red stairs. Benin moved, being the spearhead of that operation. You also have Evil Clouds on white repel, which we've actually seen teams, and I actually think it was the last Emergence game I casted, where they just had a rough time on the white repel. Or actually, I don't know. I can't exactly remember. For all I know, that was an FPLC game, and I'm just hallucinating. Either way, that could be a tough position to deal with on the defense if it's not quickly repelled. Son of Finn has now taken that mantle. Evil Clouds repelled up to likely aid the rest of his team. And as Ben and Move pushed in with a minute left, they have to find Devil through the floor. Goria finds his first kill onto the head of Anarchy all the way on Cocktail Balk. Now it's the opening pick in the favor of Emergence. While they did get that, and that is the Maestro, an impactful operator, look at the map controls still in the favor of the defense. Freezer and somewhat Bathroom, as well as Cocktail overall, unless Finn is successful on this Cocktail repel, I'd say this is still fairly solid ground for Wichita if they play this right.
You've also got Devil downstairs inside pillars by the doorway staring at New Balk, as there's not only a kill from the defense, but it's a second for onto Goria, as Goria was previously downed. Man count advantage now back in Wichita Wolves' favor, and even more so as Devil downstairs finds the kill onto Son of Finn. Evil Clouds with the first refrag for his team after that scuffle. He's the one carrying the diffuser, and he'll rely on Ben to try and cover him. Essentially, it'll be a 1v3, but it doesn't even matter, as Skins just shoots him in the head. Unfortunately, up white, Ben can't make it happen. Devil finishes him off. Wichita Wolves, they take round number 5 as Emergence now call for a tactical timeout, down 1-4.
Hey, you know what happened that round?
They killed him.
Wichita Wolves, they were like, guys, let's get him. And they got him. They actually got them that time. Not something they could say
They
for
did.
quite a long time this series.
They did, in fact, get him.
Now Emergence, they're down 4-1. I mean, if they win this next round, it's not a terrible position to be in, but overall, especially for how Emergence have been playing, coming off a 7-2 win on Oregon, sure, it's a bit of a different style of play, but overall, these rounds, they've been somewhat close, but I feel like they should be closer than what they are, especially how dominant Emergence seemed just one map ago.
Yeah, I wonder if it's maybe just that Consulate and Cafe tend to play a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
And like frag heavy. You just kind of walk around and shoot people. Oregon is definitely a lot more structured, which Wichita Wolves certainly was not the style they were employing, to say the least. So I think, Cafe and Consulate work out definitely a lot more in their favor. So far, all 4 of their round wins have come from good offsite presence and passive anchors. Their anchor play has not been over aggressive pretty much at all. I really like how, unlike Oregon, they haven't been over peaking. They haven't just been walking into angles and swinging wide at every engagement. They definitely have shored themselves up, and Emergence seemed like, that was how they won Oregon, and now they're just not prepared for the shift in playstyle.
And then on top of that, Emergence, going off what you said about not prepared, Wichita Wolves are playing much better, but Emergence also aren't applying pressure to the right spots. You brought this up earlier. The very first round, when they were attacking Bakery, the Bakery hole being brought up by Wichita wasn't pressured even a little bit. Go to that second round, and save from Son of Finn taking a bit of a strange engagement with Devil inside of Small Bake. For a second time in a row, it remained unpressured. Then if you want to look at other small examples, look at Devil in that past round. Sure, he wasn't the most impactful player, but when you have somebody down below like that who could potentially have a C4 for all they know, and he did in fact have a C4, worrying about that can disrupt an attacking team in and of itself, even if he doesn't end up getting a kill. Just the fear of that C4 from below can stall so much time trying to deal with him. It's just been a lot of poor allocation from Emergence overall, and that's something we kind of saw on Consulate, but it's definitely biting them on Cafe right now. I actually didn't see what that op was. What was it?
I don't know. I think he's 6 to Echo. I don't know.
Oh, you said ooh. I thought you saw it.
No, it was ooh because they're going mining.
Oh. Huh.
For their last defense. Interesting from Wichita Wolves, to say the least. Mining is, by far and away the least played site on this entire map. But if you know how to play it, a lot of teams aren't prepared to attack it. It's kind of like a living room library situation, or like
5 seconds left.
like a drug lab situation. Like a lot of times, those kinds of sites really revolve around not just how well your play is, but how well prepared, or I guess vice versa, how non-prepared your enemy is to attack it. I was gonna say that also bar stock, but that's very, very rare, and so far, the only people who have done that successfully are like Burnt Turkey and INTZ.
Funny you mentioned that. I was also going to say bar stock, and then my thought process was that happens very rarely, and the only people that do it are Burnt Turkey and Ints.
Yeah.
So,
and even then, they have each only done it once. They have a 100% success rate.
That's true, but if you passed 5th grade math, you would know that that is called an outlier.
Indeed.
And outliers are usually cast out in statistical analysis. Also, Ben is on Jackal.
He is on Jackal. He's finally unbanned. I've been waiting for this moment. We finally see
Didn't Emergence
Jackal
ban him
play.
though? Yeah, Emergence
Yeah, it's
banned
been
him
Emergence
twice.
banning him, but now they banned Capitao instead. I mean, Emergence already have piano control and have the train hatch open, so any defender playing inside there will likely come under fire very soon. In fact, it's going to be Anarchy taking just a little bit of damage from Son of Finn, Castle being identified and his feet being thoroughly sniffed by Ben. He can't make it up for kills, he'll make it up with feet.
Attackers have located
Goria
a bomb.
gonna breach open that pillar's window. And so far, I mean, the defense, though no longer in train, are still pretty stalwart in their positions. They haven't been pressured all that much, but as I say that, Tyrant will just walk right into the waiting arms of Ben. Ben, unfortunately, cannot pick up the kill, so Tyrant will not re-peek, but it's actually Wichita Wolves to start things off. Devil will find Evil Clouds, and a very important operator on a mining dining attack, the Sledge, is now gone.
You also still have C4s on the board. Ben will refrag Tyrant through the wall. Jackal Ping will spot the Valkyrie as well, and those holes being made make it a bit precarious for her to continue to play there. But he gets it nonetheless through the wall. Good angle play by him as Devil picks up a second, and it looks like this gamble on a mining dining defense might just pay off. Goria whiffs a lot of shots, but lands the one that matters. Skins goes, and a second as well. Not a headshot, but a kill will do just the same. It's now even man count. Son of Finn inside of 90 has the diffuser. Goria's on low HP.
Oh,
This is a
no.
rough spot for the coverage, but he's got the head on him too. It's headshots all over the board, but Anarchy's on Echo. With 15 seconds left, he's got to move his
Oh,
yokai in,
no.
but Goria spots it. He has one more on the bomb.
Oh,
Chassis. Can he shoot it?
Goria!
No! He's there for the coverage as well. The impact frags and the utility denial all over the board for the Zofia. And that's a successful plan for
Wow.
him. A successful kill and a successful clutch, thanks to Goria.
How did they... They just threw it away. That was a
Threw it away.
2v4
Yes.
for Goria and Son of Finn. Goria, of course, being the standout performer.
Killing 3 people and 2 yokais.
Yeah, I mean, never mind the 3 people. The reactionary shots on those yokais were flawless.
The third one was on the floor, so I was like, all right, cool. That last one was literally above the planter and in prime stunning position.
It stunned him
Like-
once.
Defenders
It
protect
got
the
him
bomb.
once and was like mid-falling from the ceiling. When Goria like skeet shot it out of the air. That was impressive. And Wichita Wolves,
Bomb located by
they
attackers.
could have just 5-1 half and effectively like locked up the map. But they whiffed. Goria was just better in quite literally every engagement.
But now the Wichita Wolves are going to attack. And Cafe, as you said earlier, a bit more unstructured than Oregon, a bit not as much like Consulate, but more closer to it certainly than Oregon was. And Wichita Wolves, when they were on Consulate, surged on the attack. Obviously, a lot of it was due to Emergence persistence, ongoing basement, and that, well, just simply not being their defensive bomb site. But Wichita Wolves also put up good fights on many of the other bomb sites as well. If this map is more unstructured, and with the lead they have, maybe we'll see Wichita Wolves on Bakery. They do have Alliance, so we are likely going to see some sort of aggressive play at some point during the round. They could surge here as well, and while it might be close, and if it is close, I have a feeling overtime will likely be seen. This is the best chance they have, especially after that 7-2 on Oregon, to try and make an argument, and a closing argument at that, for why they can win this series.
Well, they try to start that argument off on Kitchen as their first body paragraph. We do
First
see
contention.
a pretty big difference in the lineups. We've got Lion coming out for Faded. Not an operator we often see anymore. Usually if he's ran, it's like on Coast. It's kind of the only time we see him rear his head consistently. But Cafe, I mean, it certainly still makes sense. We see him a lot on Coast, Consulate, those kinds of maps. And with Cafe already being kind of like a 50-50 between structured and flex, the new meta makes it even more of an aggressive map. So the Lion pick, you know, it makes sense to an extent. This Vigil is just running rampant around the attackers. He does a lot of damage to Tyrant and is able to even kill Devil, and that is their only hard breacher on a kitchen attack, and now they've lost the Lion. C4 comes out for Ben, a second kill for him, and it's finally traded out by Skins and Anarchy, but it's still a 2v3. You've lost your hard breacher, you've lost your Zoph, your Lion, you're just an Ash and a Sledge. Fragging potential abounds, but not a lot of utility to speak of.
Bomb located by
The silver lining here is that you have lost the hard breacher. Well, two silver linings is that you have Sledge, notorious for soft destruction, and one more breach charge on Skins. So in terms of one of the necessary components, and one of the most necessary components, on Bakery being that soft destruction up above, that works in your favor, and you can make plenty with that. Anarchy even has the 2 frag grenades still left over, so if he's good with them and they're able to coordinate around those ADSs that Goya has brought, this could still work. Goya also on low HP. That's that second silver lining. Just one stray bullet through the floor even will be his death, and they can even it to a 2v2. Now, they're on low HP themselves. That is a risk when they push the bomb side. A little bit of damage done to Anarchy because of the frag grenade, but nothing to get all too worried about. The main worry has to be once they get to that execute, made harder due to the even more damage layered on top of the Sledge. Skins is rotated down. He is just in the sight. Prone will take down Son of Finn, who is not at all ready for that. One more spotted.
Skins.
That's Goria. Skins might just single-handedly win them the round. They don't have diffuser. They have to go for kills, but they line up for him. And that is the easiest double kill of Evil Cloud's life. And a throne clutch by Wichita. Okay. Just put that win in the emergence column.
They were doing so
Bakery,
well.
Elim,
Skins
Emergence.
got the kills. He got the entry frags into sight. He got both. And then what do? Instead of checking their angles, they both decide to full sprint with less than 100 HP between them.
How much time was left?
That is
You know-
a absolutely fantastic question.
We'll get back to it later, but I don't think it was like in the red yet. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
If it was, it had just reached the red.
If it was, understandable, but maybe they didn't have the time. In fact, they probably didn't have the time. If you're in a 2v3 clutch like that, going for the kills is probably the safer move.
But you can't kill people if you're sprinting.
One, you can't kill people if you're sprinting. Two, you especially can't kill people if you're lined up. One of your teammates literally can't shoot. But I wonder, do you think, I don't know, I can't say confidently that they had time to get diffuser, but it's just one of those things where if moved onto Son of Finn, either doesn't get that kill or somebody goes and recovers diffuser, that would have been avoided. All you have to do is get the plant down to that point and just try cover one final guy. And obviously that's a bit of a simplification. That can be harder than it looks, but I'm saying that you also just couldn't have sprinted and lined up. That could have worked.
Well, moving on. The gap closes. I just combined those two words. The gap closes
that's a Cardi B song,
by
isn't
1
it?
point. Dude, I don't. No. Cardi B makes music for women who wash paper plates. I don't want to hear her name. Tyrant has the LMG now
How
on
is he even washing?
Zofia. It's because I'll explain after. Here, how about Cardi B makes music for women who think shouting means they're winning the argument.
Unfortunately. To be fair, that's also a lot of, that's just a lot of people on the internet.
True.
I'm loud, I win!
True.
Sorry, I kind of derailed you, that's fine.
What about, what was that scene from SpongeBob? When people want to seem correct, they speak louder, right?
I don't know why, but
Something
I thought of the scene. That's
Alright.
I don't know,
Son
never
of Finn
mind.
is dead.
That's the smoke as well. I was gonna try to reference SpongeBob, but I realized I don't watch that show, so it would have been a futile effort.
You're the worst.
Son of Finn falling. That was a bit of a futile effort. Itself, no longer toxic babes in the hands of the defense. That's a lot of key denial that will be lost. Lion as well. Alive, so we'll see that EE1D. Anarchy doesn't need that to get kills. Evil falls to his L85. Goria is inside a freezer, and so far he's been unread. Can't really stand up because, you know,
Ooh.
the wall is soft, but the head of Tyrant is perfectly centered in those shelving units. He gets taken down.
She's in
Faded
heaven.
repels
Okay.
on in, takes down Ben himself. Now it's a 2v4, and Psych Control firmly in the favor of Wichita. Jaeger will just barely manage to dodge both those frag grenades, but not the
Wow,
bullets of the
Faded.
Lion, and the spray transfer moved. It's a triple for him. Wichita move up 5-2.
So it's a 3K for
5-3.
Faded. A 3K for Faded and a 2K for Anarchy. Both of those players doing all the work in that round. I mean, they just moved in and peeked him. So Anarchy moves in over towards Cigar and New Balk. He gets 1 kill from each position. There you go. Already 2 deaths on Emergence. Great job, Anarchy. Then Faded decides, what if
Hear me
I
out.
rappel into heaven? Now, the reason why that worked is the execute was going down. You saw Goria locked into the freezer by the native Anarchy. By the way, brilliant play from Anarchy to keep Goria in there because he knew he could just swing on the planer. So the nade, fantastic. Zofia stun Lion scan, and the Mira was done for. The player who was supporting her from Cocktail was kind of locked in, did not get the refrag on the Lion. Goria was so distracted by the plant he was not aware of the second freezer door that the Lion was holding. And like you said, beautiful spray transfer from one player onto the next. Wichita Wolves, great coordination in that round. They resumed their 2-point lead that they had unfortunately lost just the previous round, but have now found again. And Emergence will go down to reading for the first time.
5 seconds left before insertion.
There's a Mira on Cafe. Usually she is banned on this map, but she's been allowed to be improved. Cafe is one of her stronger maps, so could be a big factor for Emergence. Hasn't really been so far, as, well, they lost the previous round, and then 2 rounds ago came down to a throw from Wichita. Hopefully this extension with a Mira on the Mira on the cocktail wall will be the secret sauce that'll help things out. Wichita have seemed much more alive on their guns, though, so while a Mira can be tricky to deal with, especially in these 2 spots set up right here, if Wichita is still able to peek those angles and win those gunfights, it might not even matter. With those Miras playing much further back, if Emergence play passively and don't even give them
Incredible.
the opportunity. Beautiful play. They don't even give them that opportunity. This is very strongly in their favor going into this round. Going into these next 2 minutes.
Indeed. By the way, shout out to Skins. Top fragging.
LFG boys.
Dude, that is character development.
Dude,
That is improvement.
skins
and
are
God-
rival Zuko's.
God damn it, you'll love to see it. The kid's got ice in his veins. Anarchy will get the first lead-off kill in this round. Yet again, Son of Fun gonna be the opener, but a swift refrag as Anarchy does not expect the balcony. And now we're even. 4-4, still a minute 40 left in the round.
Nice pre-fire coming out from the mirror. There's a deployable shield as well, top white, allowing for pre-fires of Evil Clouds, or moved if he wants to peek it. Oh, and the head is perfectly centered in between. Ben perfectly throws a C4. A lot of perfect plays all around coming out from Emergence, and this defensive setup is looking a bit too strong for Wichita Wolves, even though they've been shooting straight for a good portion of this map. Devil and Tyrant, the only 2 left. Your sledge gone. The only soft destruction or hopes of soft destruction is left on Tyrant with those lifelines and breach charges. And Ben takes his head clean off, takes him off the board. And Devil, the FPLC god himself, has to clutch a 1v4. Goryo's on low HP, so there's potential for 1 exit frag. But with all the tracers coming his way, 2 mirror windows that remain steadfast in their positions. And now he's on 25 HP. Even lower as I say that. Even lower still. Goryo cleaning it up. Emergence move at 5-4.
And a 3K for Ben. Who's been playing? Mira.
Yeah.
Brilliant job. As well as, dude, that shot from Evil Clouds. 1 tapping that dude through the pixel angle between the shield and the doorway. Ben waking up. That's always nice to see. You don't like players being on donuts. That's not
Even
fun.
though donuts are delicious.
Yeah, it depends on the donut.
I mean, well, yeah, obviously it depends on the donut.
What's your favorite donut?
You know, I'm kind of a simple guy. Just a good chocolate iced donut is pretty
I
good.
love Boston creams.
You know, I've never been a big, filled donuts kind of guy. Boston creams are good,
Because
don't get me wrong.
I like custard. I don't know
Custard is
why.
good.
Like egg tarts. Creme brulee.
I've never had egg tarts. Have had creme brulee. Creme brulee is good.
Yes. Wait, you've never had like a Chinese egg tart?
Nope.
Dude. Oh my god. Imagine like, have you ever had a lemon tart?
Nope. I also don't really like lemons all that much. I like it like accentuating the flavors.
Have you
of
had
things, but
a
I don't
tart?
like it as the main play. Well, funny you mentioned that. I don't think I have. No, wait. I've had an apple tart, I think.
Okay, was it like, did it almost look like a mini pie?
Yes.
Okay, imagine that, but instead of apple, it's egg custard.
That sounds good depending on the balancing of the egg. If it's too eggy, I might
It's
not be a
not
fan.
eggy. It doesn't
Okay.
actually taste like egg. It's just
Oh,
made
okay.
with egg. It's
Oh,
just,
okay.
it's like sweet. And it's not
I'd
too,
probably like that.
it feels like, it's like the consistency of like a really soft quiche,
Mmm.
but without the breading and really sweet.
Yeesh.
Quiche is very good. Speaking of quiche, we have like these hors d'oeuvre like mini quiches, and I had 24 in one sitting. 'Cause they were really good.
I remember one of the hungriest I've ever been. I was at a New Year's Eve party before COVID. My friend's mom made these mini tacos, and I think they were like 24 on a plate, and I think I ate 12 because I hadn't eaten that day. And then I ate more, of course. But that was like,
Excellent. I'm so proud of you.
I was proud of me too.
Dude,
I
have
literally
I told you about the time?
I didn't. I was at a speech meet. I didn't eat that whole day. Like literally until that party, hadn't consumed food.
Did I also tell you about the time how at senior prom I ate so much of the salmon sushi that they just stopped bringing it out?
I don't know how to react to that.
It was great. Also, by the way, Emergence. Look at their operator lineup. They are bringing all 3 drone denials, Malusi, and of course rounding it out with Jaeger. You have the 3 players upstairs. It's going to be the Jaeger, the Mozzie, and I would imagine the Visual with the Belusi and the Mute on site. Probably the 2 most capable anchors out of all 3 of these, or at least the 2 people you'd want to anchor instead of broing. Playing through the drone denial, playing for the time wasting. Malusi's on site just to compound that even more. And Wichita Wolves so far, they're going for the clear, and they've wasted a minute 40 in the round with no kills. In fact, only a death to speak of as the Vigil have moved, finds Tyrant. Down goes your Zofia, faded finally with a refrag, but he himself will also be killed by Moved. So far, the Vigil doing a great job on this roam, but Devil will finally trade him out. Unfortunately, Skins cannot see Goria prone behind those chairs, and this roam is beautiful from Emergence so far. A 2 versus 3 for Wichita Wolves to work themselves out of. It's Devil and Anarchy. They do have the Sledge and the Ace, soft and hard breaches, and they gotta try and hit this site before the defenders can get back, before the roamers can try and rotate back to site. That is unfortunately a misnade from Anarchy. He's trying to throw it over the wall and get the Mute Jammer behind it, and I don't know if he was successful on the second endeavor as well. So for now, that bakery door, or that bakery wall, is just going to be locked. These last 2 attackers are just going to have to push through these doorways. Sonafin and Goria are on site. I'm not quite sure where Evil Clouds is. He's likely upstairs holding floor holes, but Goria's position gets found out by Devil. A great wallbang. That's the entry pick onto the site they need, but as I said, upstairs, floor holes, Evil Clouds gets an easy kill, and Devil rotates around to where his teammate just previously died. Evil Clouds likely still holding these floor holes, and even then, you still got to do with Sonafin in sight, who's got his, well, nah, he doesn't have a C4 anymore, but prone behind, he's going to get killed, but doesn't matter. There's no time. Emergence take round number 10, and ladies and gentlemen, we are all tied up 5 apiece.
We're getting to that point where I'm getting a little worried. Because if you had managed to successfully clutch up that first bakery round, it would be 6-4 right now, and you'd be on match point. But now we're 5-5, the penultimate round, if you will. Whoever wins this will be on match point. Could be Wichita, as the next site is Bar Cocktail, and that is the one site they have won. But at the same time, it just takes Emergence shoring up the defenses, and now they're on match point, a position you could have easily been in had you not made that crucial mistake earlier. And you just always hate to see it if small moments like that and small mistakes end up being one of the biggest and most important factors of the round. But again, this is Cocktail. A bit of a different lineup. Faded now on Jackal instead of the Lion, and him on the Lion got a 3K that round, in part because of Repel and the Cocktail and a little bit of good use of his gadget overall throughout the round. He can use that Jackal scanner for roam clear as well, as Lion is often used for. Just always worried if that adjustment is the right one, because whereas Jackal is much more suited for clearing out the roam, Lion is very helpful for setting up an execute onto site. And if one of the main reasons you won was rappelling in and getting a 3K, EE1D would likely help in replicating that behavior more than a Jackal scanning feat.
5 seconds to insert.
Ah.
Feat.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Also, to answer Tai Yi TV, egg tarts are not mooncakes. Those are completely different.
I've heard of mooncakes. What are those?
Mooncakes, not a big fan. I can show you pictures after.
Oh,
Yeah. Mooncakes are okay. It depends on the filling. Egg tarts, though, always good. Well, EMG have now tied up the game.
it's 5-5.
Wichita Wolves, though, this is the one site that they were successful attacking. It was, in fact, Bar, because the Lion and the Sledge just kind of killed everyone. Now, though, they do not have the Lion. They have Jackal instead, like you said. I'm pretty interested to see how it works out.
All right.
And luckily, though, that wasn't the Jackal. That was the Ash. Though still, not a great pick for Wichita Wolves to lose first. Not just because of the utility, but also because Skins has been doing a hell of a lot better than he has in the past. And now you're going to lose him. You're going to lose Ash with all that utility on the board. At least there's a refrag. Wound goes down, but it's just the Vigil, and now you've lost your Hard Breacher and your Sledge. Ben with a massive double kill. He rotates downstairs. Now with a minute and a half left, it's Tyrant and Faded to fight out of a 2v4.
Upside, they have Diffuser. That's cool. All right, never mind. Evil Clouds just got one. Faded will get the refrag. And that Jackal, the C7E's got to find 3 more in order to save Wichita Wolves from being down on match point and necessitating overtime. He has plenty of time. A minute, 10 seconds left. But Ben was on the mirror, and those black mirrors are very much still alive. And he does not have a single tool to use it. And yeah, you can see that Z-ping. That's an easy pre-fire from Gloria. And Emergence are now on match point. 1 round away from eliminating Wichita Wolves from this tournament.
And we are going
From these
to
plays.
pause.
Faded will call ever-important timeout. Now, if you do recall, if you want to go back in time, I said this at the beginning, Keg did as well. Last year, and by last year, I do literally mean last year, as in it was 2020 then. Last season, it was, set the scene, it was Wichita Wolves and Emergence in the quarterfinals, much like it was now. The map is Cafe. Wichita Wolves beat Emergence and knock them out of the playoffs. Now we're here. We're on Cafe. Emergence 1 round away from eliminating the very same team that eliminated them last year. Is it really going to be because they lined up and sprinted out kitchen door?
Dude, it might be. They have
It
now
just
taken
might be.
3 rounds in a row. Wichita Wolves had a 5-2 lead, and they have let it slip away. I mean, I don't really understand how it's happened, but it has.
I mean, a lot of it has been, individual performances. Ben with those pre-fires last round, being one example. It's kind of individual
Sorry,
people excelling in their role.
Not 5-2, 5-3. 5-3 lead. They lost 3 in a row.
Still.
So, yeah, that's still pretty substantial. And now Wichita Wolves find themselves on the back foot. So, I don't know. Because now they've lost the only site that they were successful attacking. We're probably going to go back down to reading, because I don't think EMG are going to take a risk on mining. If Wichita Wolves had had not thrown that 2v4 on mining, we could be seeing a very different game.
If they hadn't thrown that 2v4 on mining, and then they hadn't thrown that clutch, this game would be over.
Yeah.
They would have won.
Or if, instead of separating, Anarchy and Devil both pushed the whiskey double, instead of going prep and dying to Evil Clouds from above, in that 2v2 on Kitchen, could have also been a round win. A lot of could-haves, but, Not a lot of success from Wichita Wolves so far. Hopefully we'll be getting unpaused soon. There we go. We're unpaused. Yeah, it is going to be Reading Room.
All
This
right.
was not a site that Wichita Wolves had a fun time on.
It was not. Yeah. Hey, if out of the 5 operators being brought by Emergence right now, what of these operators was the most impactful the last time?
Ooh, Ying.
The last time they did reading.
Attackers need to locate and
Okay, but
defuse
they've
as
got
many
a
bombs
Ying.
as they can.
They do have a Ying, but at the same time, Ben also just pre-fired people behind a mirror window. Actually, pretty much everybody on Emergence just pre-fired people behind mirror windows, like 3 times.
That is true, and they no longer have the Hibana to deal with them. In fact, they don't have they have a hard breach gadget, and that's it.
But they do have Ying,
That's true.
as
Dude, Faded,
as you put it.
Faded now has ice in his veins.
Attackers have located a bomb.
He's ready to explode onto the site.
10 seconds left.
They also have the line again, so if they
Yo.
are planning a rush,
5 seconds to
this
go.
I guess this is the lineup, but like I would really prefer if the last round is not a failed rush, because those are always just sad to watch.
Dude. Speaking of ice and exploding, did you know ice, because it's geologically considered a rock because of its crystalline structure, and lava is terrestrial rock becoming molten due to heat? If terrestrial natural ice is melted via heat, it's technically a form of lava.
You really tried with that one, didn't you?
Or 70% lava. There's also glaciovolcanism, which has to do with meltwater and volcanic activity near glaciers, and like sublimation and stuff. There's also cryovolcanoes, which are cool, which instead of lava they spew like ammonia, methane, and water,
That'll kill you.
which are definitely it will still kill you, but it's cool. But yeah, because you know ice is geologically a rock, especially glacier ice. Like if you melt down a glacier, because that's terrestrial rock, quote unquote, technically, it's molten rock, aka lava.
Well, Ben is certainly rocking Tyrant's world right now and rocking him off the game. Faded will cradle Ben to an early rock him to sleep. Main count now even. Now in the favor of Wichita Wolves. Skins gets a second one on Nagoria. And hey, thanks to that Ying and a couple well-placed smoke grenades, up top has now been cleared. Wichita Wolves are free to do whatever self-destruction they please. Move will just barely be able to get away. They'll even rotate further down, play on white stairs, likely close with the shotgun. Son of Finn does have a C4 and could potentially try to predict where the sledge hole will appear next and try to get one as a result, but Faded's taking a position on the desk. He might have the superior angle, but then rotates off. No engagement to be seen.
C4?
The C4's right
Oh, he
down below,
didn't
but he
do
doesn't
it!
click it at the right time, and now it's missed completely. Evil's on a flank. Will be stopped by the E1D, but the drone destruction might not have been seen. He gets the head. Skins gets the refrag onto moved, and now is all left up to Evil Clouds on the flank and Son of Finn on the site. Anarchy is low. Taken down. That's a double for Clouds. Son of Finn holding the white stairs can watch if the push comes down. 50 seconds left. Plenty of time for Wichita to work with and still try to make this happen. Skins is alone. They don't know Evil is over there. He's still sitting inside of Cocktail, or inside a cigar, just waiting for one of the attacking team to make their play. His back gets turned, but he manages to evade the shots.
Oh,
Spots the head,
Evil!
lands it. The ping is right there. The Lion rotates around. He just has to get the quad, and he does! Emergence win it out. They eliminate Wichita, thanks to a great flank from the Valkyrie and great play from Emergence. Knocks out Wichita from the quarterfinals.
Evil Clouds. Holy crap. What was that, a 4K on the Valkyrie?
4K on the Val.
Flanking up red stairs, literally no info on him until the very end, and even with the yellow pings, they could not pin him down. Insane play from him, top fragging the lobby, 14-5, and pretty much, I mean, single-handedly shutting that map out. It was really looking like OT. That was what, a 4v2, 3v2 or whatever?
Yeah.
Or no. Evil Clouds got the kill and then it was traded out. So it was a 3v2. And the entire attack got distracted. At that point, you need to tell yourselves, there is one guy on site. Valkyrie is in red. We can take 2 people, shove in, get the refrag on Son of Finn, and have our last man either covering upstairs or covering, by pillar or whatever. But instead, They one by one chased down this Valkyrie, no drones, no intel, and no shots landed. Evil Clouds was in the right place at the right time for literally every single one of those engagements, and goddamn, I have never seen Wichita more lost.
Is that the highest kill counter we've seen today? Not 14-7, that's not what I mean. But I mean, have we seen a 4K today? Other than that?
Yeah, we saw.
Did we?
I can't remember exactly when it was, but I know we saw. I think it was Tyrant early on the Mozzie get a 4K. 4K has been the ceiling.
Okay,
Nobody's
so
seen
no
No
aces.
aces today.
Not yet. Well, we have seen some, but they were playing as ace.
Yeah. That was also 4 rounds in a row for EMG.
Dude, hey, you know what? Remember how we said earlier that like, dude, them sprinting that could be huge. Them throwing that
sprinting,
clutch that could
them
be huge.
both going whiskey instead of separating, them not all peaking in a 2v4 on mining, and Valkyrie playing inside of dining instead of dropping down and playing for the C4 from below. What else was there? There's more, but
A comedy of failures, I guess you could say.
yeah.
Is that how you say it? I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
a
the
comedy,
term.
yeah.
Comedy of
Okay, okay,
comedy
okay.
of
Comedy
errors.
bears. Although I don't know if
Comedy
Wichita
bears,
Wolves
okay.
are laughing.
I'm not. I'm sad.
I mean, look, if I'm Wichita Wolves, you went into this not really being the fan favorite. I think they did a really good job, all things considered. You know, Crow, I think you especially said that going into this, you didn't have the highest expectations for them, and they really kind of proved a lot of people wrong while still losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that last map certainly wasn't all the Goria show. Evil Clouds specifically stepping up like
And Skins.
massively. Skins as well. Okay, so Skins has been a player that we've kind of harped on as not fulfilling his role to the best of his ability. Well, I don't know if the best of his ability, but certainly not to the standards that Iski set and previous entries on Wichita Wolves have set. On Cafe, he did remarkably well. A hell of a lot better than he's ever done so far with the team, but unfortunately, it didn't matter.
Yeah, it's just a shame that finally things starting to look up for Skins came in the game that got eliminated. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Overall, though, the maps we saw in both sets today, Oregon, Consulate, and Cafe, 3 times in a row, I think the second set showed a lot more closer of a game, and it was a grudge match between Wichita Wolves and Emergence still, except, you know, in the semifinals, now instead it's the quarterfinals, and the result was a little different this time. I'm wondering, going forward, because EMG hasn't really had any roster changes before, and they do come out on top, if we're going to see this again maybe in the next season. What do you think, Lynx?
Maybe we'll see it. Honestly, while we can't look forward to next season, I'm just intrigued to see how much this run for Emergence plays next to the playoffs. I really want to look towards that first because I'm intrigued. That was, as you said, a very close game against Wichita, who, while they looked better, they still looked not nearly as good as they were previously. So, going into the rest of the playoffs, obviously they cannot make roster changes. I'm intrigued to see if their run makes it all the way to the grand finals or if they get cut short. But going forward to the next seasons, I don't know. With the types of teams that are being rumored of potentially coming into SCS, I think Emergence might have to maybe make some. I don't know. That's way in the future.
I think you brought up a really good point, though, about Emergence going forwards against Down to Earth, I believe, in the semifinals. But why don't we hear from the players themselves? We have Son of Finn on the interview now. Hello, Son of Finn.
Hello. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, I love your jacket.
Well, thank you.
No.
No problem. So I do have a few questions for you guys. Going into this here today against Wichita Wolves, you guys were, at least in terms of caster predictions, more or less the fan favorite going into it. But you guys kind of had a bit of a rocky start at times on a few of these maps. Was there any worry going into this matchup that maybe things would be kind of going on a left foot to begin with?
Well, I mean, whenever we started off on Consulate, it's a map that we haven't played this season. Wichita obviously knew that. It's a map that we hadn't really played, and they took us to it because we banned Clubhouse because we knew that their Clubhouse was really strong, and we just decided that maybe we could win like a Consulate game, but we were really confident going into Oregon and Cafe that we were kind of banking on those two maps. If we kind of went into it thinking like if we win Consulate, that's just a plus, but we knew going into it that we'd have to win Oregon and Cafe.
Fair enough. So you guys kind of just decided, you know what, consulate's consulate. We win it, we lose it. It doesn't matter as much, right?
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Now, one of the things the casters said was that Wichita Wolves was kind of they played better on more looser maps, so to speak. So less structure overall, having a little bit more freedom to do what they want. But you guys still came out on top in a lot of those situations. Would you consider your team thriving better in more structured environments, like a map like Oregon and Cafe? Or do you find yourselves maybe not necessarily struggling on consulate, but having a harder time adapting around those looser teams?
So what I would say to that is that we're really good at adapting. Like today, I feel like that we clutched a lot of rounds and we won a lot of rounds that we shouldn't have because of our adaptability. Like every single round, we were changing something, trying to improve. So I don't really feel like it's a more structured map or more loose map. It's just like take for example Coastline. We're pretty decent on that map. That's more of a looser map. And then Oregon, it's a more structured map, and we're also pretty good on that map. So I think it's just our comfortability on the maps and how well like we can adapt. And so, like at the end of the day, I don't think it's more structured or more loose. I just feel like whatever maps we feel good on that day is the maps that that we're going to perform well on.
How do you know going into it that you feel good about a map? Is it just a feeling that you have?
Like scrims throughout the week. Basically, yesterday we knew what maps we were good at and what maps we were not. So that's why we banned Clubhouse, because we didn't feel confident taking them to one of their best maps. And we chose to go to Consulate. So it's more like how the maps go throughout the week, throughout scrims, and just kind of how we feel that day. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Now, keep in mind, too, I'm sure you remember that from last season, this was a bit of a redemption match where Wichita Wolves beat you guys in the semifinals. But this time around, you come out on top there. Wichita Wolves also changed a lot of their roster between then and now. Were you going into this prepared, or not necessarily prepared, but were you expecting to have a huge amount of differences from the last semifinal to this quarter?
So last semifinal, we were a totally different team as well. I know we haven't really had the roster changes per se, but we were a totally different team. Like last season, we scrimmed maybe 5 times throughout the whole season. Like
Wow.
maybe that. This season, we like going up into this week, we scrimmed every single day. We really prepped and we had multiple strats for attacking sites. We really worked on our comms and adaptability because we didn't know what the teams were going to bring to us every single time because they were probably going to bring new stuff. So we focused kind of on our game, how we adapt mid-game, and how we can basically change what we're doing. So yeah.
I think a lot of T3 teams really struggle with adapting. You guys have been scrimming just about every day. What would you say is the number one reason or the number one biggest thing most teams need to learn how to adapt on to be just as good as you guys?
Whenever you're scrimming and stuff, just have the mindset that it's okay to lose. Like you're not there to show off like your best clips or like for your next YouTube montage. Like you're there to learn and get better. So like as an IGL myself, I always try to look at what teams are doing. Like what are the patterns that teams are doing? I also ask my teammates like, hey, what did you guys think that we should do here? And just mid game, I'm just trying to analyze what's going on, how the team's holding it. So that's kind of what I try to do, and I've just gotten better at it over the season because we've been doing it in scrims and stuff. So I'd say just go into scrims trying to learn and improve your own game. So like as an IGL, work on your comms. As a flank watch, learn where do people normally come by if they're flanking. Like let's take Oregon, for example. Do they flank Z-Hall, do they flank Meeting, or do they flank Laundry the most? Like those are things that you should know. As an entry, what are the common spots that they like to play? And as a support, like how are they going to deny the wall? Like, are they going to impact trick it from below? Are they going to Kate it? So knowing those little things and knowing those tendencies that a lot of tier three teams have will help you out a ton.
And with that adaptability, did you find it that against Wichita Wolves on a map like Console, it's kind of hard to adapt around their strategies at times?
Console, it's a very window-heavy map, and it's hard to adapt around windows besides running out. So that's why it's kind of struggled for us to adapt on defense was because of all the window play. But I feel like we know how we need to do that now going forward. I have a few ideas in mind, and we're going to touch it up tomorrow before our game. But yeah, overall, I just feel like the window play is one of the biggest things on Consulate.
Do you think maybe we can get a sneak peek against you guys on Down to Earth?
We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see.
Oh,
it'll be.
I tried. It's going to be interesting, though. Down to Earth, definitely a very different team from Wichita Wolves. Do you have anything to say specifically to that team tomorrow?
Let's just say that we were expecting to play you guys round 1, so we're ready for y'all.
Ooh. Well, son of Emergence, you guys will be facing Down to Earth tomorrow, but you have the platform right now. You have a whole bunch of people watching you. What do you have to say to your friends, your family, enemies, Twitter, anybody out there?
I would just like to say thank you guys for all supporting us. I saw the emergences in the chat right after we in that last round, dude. It was so amazing to see all you guys. See how much our org has grown in the past, like, I don't know, 3 months. It's absolutely crazy. Like, how on earth do we win the fan vote against Wichita? Like, 3 months ago, no one would have thought about that. And I would just like to thank my teammates for coming to scrims every single day. Just really putting their hard work in. I'd like to thank our org owner for having faith in us, even through our low points in the season. I would just like to thank everybody who played against us, and Wichita, of course, for this long rivalry that we've had. I hope it continues, and I'll miss playing you guys.
That was beautifully put, son of Finn, but don't worry, we do have to see more of you guys tomorrow. We'll be seeing you guys up against Down to Earth in the semifinals. Thank you very much for this beautiful interview, and maybe we'll be seeing you tomorrow as well. But we're going to be bringing back the casters now and see what exactly went on those last 3 maps. Hello, welcome back, Cougar and Croaky, man. I gotta say, though, that was probably the most wholesome interview we've ever had at SCS.
Man, would love to hear it.
Yeah, we could not hear the audio.
We couldn't.
Oh, I did not know that. Go back
Son
and
of
watch
Finn,
the VOD.
Son of Finn looks like a wholesome guy though. Like I got the you know, the general vibe that it was probably good in the
If only I could read lips.
Aw,
which
man.
we cannot. I also can't read anyway, so it's just a lose-lose.
You're also
Yeah.
colorblind, right?
I'm also colorblind.
Dude, illiterate, colorblind. Choose a struggle,
Dude,
man.
illiterate, colorblind, short, and I had a speech impediment for
Dude.
12 years.
Pick a struggle, dude.
That's my
Also, real quick, Dash and Tai, yes, normal naturally occurring ice is a mineral, but glacial ice is rock. Fuck you.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You know, I have to do astronomy homework after this. But speaking of after this, though, tomorrow we do have the semifinals. We do get to see that Emergence Down to Earth matchup, and we get to see plenty of others as well. Plus, we get to see amazing casters and a decently good host. But all that in mind, though, we do have another season after this as well. The signups are going to be open. It starts February 3rd, and it goes all the way pretty much until the 21st. So if you haven't signed up and you have a team, go sign up. You should. Unlimited amounts of teams, only 10 can survive 2 different sets of open qualifiers into the closed quals, and then after that, well, Season 5 starts. And I can't wait to be a part of it as well, along with many
Me
other
too.
people, but my name has been Keglenek Max Tompkins, and of course you have Cougar Wednesday, Thursday, and Croaky Main Friday, Saturday. It's been amazing being with you guys today, and we'll see you
I hate it
guys
here.
again tomorrow. I love it here.